What's going on, guys? So today we're gonna go through. Hope everybody's day, by the way, was good. Hope everybody's weekend was good. All that kind of good stuff. Yeah, I mean, today we got the great and magnificent Josh with us. Let me see here. Go ahead.
Yo,
What's going on, boss? How
my
are you,
hand.
though?
I don't know if I'm on screen yet, but
Yeah, you are. I gotta
what up?
fix them anyway, but go ahead. There we go.
Need to learn to use my whole desk instead of.
I gotta learn to use this damn fucking thing right here, but it's fine. It is what it is. Um, but so today we're gonna go through Tucker Carlson's 10-point plan for a new America, or whatever you would like to call it. Yeah, I think Josh will have lots to say.
I'm almost certainly gonna have a lot to say.
It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. There's things I agree with, things I don't agree with. I mean, you know, that's yeah, how that goes, I guess.
What the fuck? I'm already reading. Viewers can't see. I'm already reading the list, and I'm like, was this written by a 14-year-old on fucking poll on
Hold
4chan?
on, we're gonna listen.
Christ.
This is somebody's summary of them, which. Fair
Oh,
enough.
okay. It's a summary. Okay, fair.
I mean, this is like somebody else's summary. He never actually put out like a specific. I mean, he has this long ass, obviously hour-long video, and we're gonna skim most of it doing today.
Big
You know what I mean?
manifesto.
Yeah, but it's there again. There's parts I agree, part I don't. And then we're going to talk about I think you're going to cover some of the same things, but I do think that this lady has her name is the Dre Dossier, and she does a lot of really good reporting on like financials and following the money and different things like that. And she has a lot of concerns about the new third party thing that they're doing. And so, you know, we're just going to talk about it. We're going to hang out. We're going to go through it. Josh is obviously going to hate me by the end of this, but that is okay. So anyway, all right, well, let's sort of kind of just bust to it here. Let's see here. Let me see. Duo stream. I believe this is the one. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. So, all right. Here's what we got. Josh, do you want to read them?
I can if you really want. Can I get the soundtrack to this? Can I get the
Oh, shit. I don't.
Can I get something goofy so it goes, or you know?
Hold on,
Would it be better to play like the?
I can do.
Would it be better to play?
Hold on, I can just play something. I got you. Hold on.
Yeah, can you play some of your stuff? Like, just have it on a low frequency so I can at least got some bounce to it.
I got you.
Suffer through this. Yeah, you're like a musician content creator. Let's just play some beats in the background.
Yeah, well, I guess. You know, we're just doing stuff here at this point. Let me see here. We'll go through
Look,
the
man, if I'm
remix.
gonna be stuck on the elevator, you're gonna play me elevator music, all right?
All right, whatever. It is what it is. That is what I make. Stop shutting up. Just shut the fuck up. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll just turn it down real low. There we go. Nice and chill.
Okay.
All right. Well, let me turn that down.
All right, let's see.
There we go. All right.
One fair. Oh Christ. Fair. Okay. Let's see. Should I start, or do you want to give it a second?
Go ahead.
All right. Edict number 1 on apparently Tucker Carlson's 10 points of fascism. I mean 10 points of centrism. Fair. The same rules should apply. Should I do the? Can I do the voice?
You can do whatever you or if you'd like, I can.
Can you play his talk? Can you play him talking for like 2 seconds so I can dock it? I need to calibrate. I need to calibrate. I can do voices. I just need to calibrate.
All right. So
very first thing America should be is fair. America should be fair. Now, not only should America be fair, America was created to be fair. That's the entire.
Can I get it at one time speed?
Well, it never has been fair.
Way too fast. It's also pitching his voice differently.
All right, fine. Be that way.
I'm sorry. I
okay.
listened to. Okay.
But that doesn't
Okay,
change
let's
the
see.
fact that that has always been the goal. And when you stop trying to
The goal.
find the goal, then you have no hope
Find.
of ever
Okay.
achieving
Okay.
it.
Okay. I think I got it. I think I got
All
it.
right.
When you find the goal, okay. Fair. The same rules should apply to presidents, federal agents, and elites, such as Jeffrey Epstein, whose impunity Carlson cast as emblematic of an Epstein class enriching itself through a corrupt system. Okay. Am I okay? Am I tearing into all of these? Okay, we'll do it.
Well, you don't have to tear. No, hold on now. Hold on.
No. This is actually easy though, because this is gonna be really easy because it's succinct, and I don't have to over explain it. It's
Okay.
just a simple. Keep it up. Keep it up.
All right.
I'll go through all of these. I'll hit every one of these motherfuckers. All right. Fairness. So this is a doctrine of this is his like doctrine of things he would like, right? Let's start with these. Let's start with first. Do I agree? I do agree that the rules should apply to everybody equally and fairly. I do believe in a fair justice system. I do believe that our society should be fair. We all kind of, subscribe to the social contract, and we all subscribe to the laws of our land. We teach them in school. We teach them in our churches. We teach them, when people go on to get tertiary education and secondary education. I think rules are good for society. Now, the same rules apply for presidents, federal agents, and elites. I would agree. I would extend that just to kind of everybody. I don't really think we need to do the whole like presidents, federal agents, and elites. The reason why Tucker puts those specifically in is because those are like the right-wing bugbears, but that's okay. I still want them under the umbrella of the United States legal code, such as Jeffrey Epstein, whose impunity Carlson casts as emblematic of an Epstein class. So let's talk about this really quickly. Is there such thing as an Epstein class? Yes, there is. Is it necessarily like my biggest issue with this is what an Epstein class is. And Cody, I'm actually throwing this to you for a second.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe in the simplest terms the like an Epstein class site? How would you like identify somebody in that class?
At least for me, I think the way that I would identify it is probably a little bit maybe different than the way you would though. Because what I would say is it is the people. Well, it's the oligarchs. It's that class. It's the class of people who are manipulating the system for their benefit and all that kinds of stuff, and use the federal system as basically their plaything, if that makes sense. Which I think. I mean,
federal, state, and local. I mean, they can. If they can buy I think it's fair to say that if you can buy a senator, you can buy a city councilman.
Yeah, pretty much. That's probably accurate. And I mean, here's my thing, real quick, not to get off on a little bit, but I sort of kind of, while I think that this person in their summary of his point is focused on that part of it, I sort of kind of think some of it is just him going after DEI. So
like Carlson or the person summarizing?
Carlson.
Okay.
So like he is using fair as an overreaching term to try to sort of kind of engulf a couple things all into one point. You know what I mean? Like I think when you listen to him talk about it, he talks a little, which I mean,
I don't know how long it is. We can listen to him talk about it.
No, I know. The reason that I almost am okay with not.
This is easier.
Well, I think it might be easier to just go through the list a little bit. And I mean, if there's a point specifically that I'll let him bring up, then I'll do that. But so for example,
that's okay with me.
You know what I mean? Because he's long-winded, and I can summarize it pretty easy. It's not that hard. But I will say that in his little section that he's got there, a a lot of it is to do with an even like. I think he is coming around much more to a sense that like there needs to genuinely be some restraint put on this oligarchic class and maybe some parts of like there's a part in here, I don't know exactly where he says it, but he says he finds it funny that people, I'm summarizing, but that he finds it weird that people say they're like economically conservative and socially liberal. And he's like, no, I'm the opposite. I'm socially conservative and economically liberal. That's what he says.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the case, because in a lot of ways he did grow up in like the Southern California, like whatever, he's a, you know, rich boy in California kind of thing.
He's rich. Yeah.
Yeah. So my point sort of not necessarily point but just my thought is that I think that he is coming around a little bit to this sort of kind of fairness thing of like the way that the DSA candidates talk more about what's it called, like, you know, just the fairness of the system and things like that, like the in a class way, not in a racial way. But there are multiple times in here that, especially in the fairness section, that he does bring up specifically the whole white thing, like the whole white sort of kind of guilt thing or
the
whatever.
White problem in America.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And so that's why they didn't put that in that bullet point. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to give it a little bit more of a rounded understanding of when he talks about it, what he's saying. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree, because I mean, I don't really agree with any of the white part of it.
I mean, I think it's one of those where it's like I can't disagree with wanting fairness. I think where I find the issue is, and the reason why I asked you the question I did, is because it is mainly because when we describe, because Tucker Carlson is attempting to use, I think, it's not class language and it's not class consciousness. No. There's you know, in leftist politics, there is the lens of analysis, or, you know, way of thinking, or at the very least, like understanding and organizing of different groups as, like, you know, coming to one's class consciousness, understanding where you are in the hierarchy, that just because you own a house, just because you own, you know, you might have nice things, just because you're just generally middle class, maybe, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are a capitalist, in the sense that you don't own like capital, like you're not somebody who is buying things and then making money off of the like production of those things, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the big difference. And the problem I have with this is Epstein class doesn't describe a group of people with an incentive structure. It describes a hyper specific, or I should say like a hyper specific, and in that way, like kind of just like cut out of an actual class. What I would describe, and like if I was writing this, I can not actually Epstein class, but like, you know, the capital ownership class, because everybody who is in the Epstein class is in the capital ownership class. None of these people are workers. None of these people are, you know, working for a wage. They are the owners of things. They are the, you know, they are the people buying off our politicians. They are at the top of our society because they own capital and they control a disproportionate amount of capital. And it's kind of what we talk about, I think, and what I try to at least speak on, when it's like, what I want are the incentive structures to change. Under capitalism, you will always 100% of the time have a class that just simply by the fact of, you know, by the fact that they own capital, they own the means of production, and they're able to sell, they're able to speculate, they're able to do all the financial things that we let people do with owning property. Because they're able to do that, they will always be at the top. So for me, this is at the end of the day pitching a ball that's never going to get hit. Like you can ask for all this fairness, yada yada yada, for, you know, and hold up the Epstein class, but like that's just going to change. Even if you did a whole bunch of, it's just going to be under a different name. Before it was, you know, like Skull and Bones. Before that it was whatever other weird rich secret societies that we have. And this happens, and this happens in every society, by the way.
Real quick.
Happened in feudalism, happened in you know,
I agree.
In monarchies.
This is a fun fact. This is a fun fact. I promise.
Hit me with it. Hit me with the fun
apparently fact. My cousin, his grandfather was one of the founding people of the Skull and Bones Society.
So we know where your allegiances lie. Then.
Hey, relax. Hey, chill out. No, I found that out like a couple weeks ago. That like, so William Howard Taft's grandfather, I think, or father, one of the two, was one of the two people that basically founded like the original Skull and Bones Society at was it Harvard?
Something like that, yeah.
I'm sorry. Fun facts. But no, here's the thing. I agree with you. I do think that you know that okay, I understand your point on this. That basically,
because it's not like the Epstein class. I want to be clear. One last second. The problem also is the Epstein class doesn't sit above capitalists. They are just part of that. And being in that class, being in the capital ownership class, you are exempt from things because you are able to purchase enough leeway. Like there's like a saying from somebody where it's like, you know, after you've bought all of the things you ever want to buy, if you're rich enough, what else can you do? And the only thing left for you to purchase is exemptions from the rules that govern the rest of us. So that's, and like, you know, the Epstein class is just the most predatory of the capitalist class, but they're not different. They don't have a different incentive structure. They don't use different means. They're all within the same, they're all in the same class. So that's my whole point for that.
I understand what you're getting at. I don't think you're wrong in some ways. Like I see how you get there.
What are the ways you think I'm incorrect? I'm curious then.
I would blame it on more of the it's more term than it is. It's semantics. It's genuinely, it's probably semantics. It's that I wouldn't call it the capitalist specifically, because I would say like the capitalist is still the person who opens a, you know, storefront down the street. Like that's still in some ways still the same thing, wanting to own a business and try and build a larger business and stuff like that. Like a roofing company, they're technically capitalists. They're building a business and a service and all that kind of stuff and trying to grow their business and stuff.
They're following the incentives. I mean, they're not held to a different standard in terms of incentives.
I agree. My thought would just be that it is the oligarchical class that has used the system, like you said, to a point that they have the power to abuse people. And there's lots of ways that they got there. You know what I mean? It is partially the as you would put it, capitalistic system that allows them to abuse people. Which I can understand your point there, but I would say that like I still like the idea of private ownership and capitalist as a thing. I just don't think that it should be unfettered, laissez-faire, over the top. Like basically what we have now is as I'm sure you would probably agree, it's they've taken the system, which, well, actually, I don't think you would agree. You would probably say this is, as you, I think, have said in the past, this is the natural extension of what the system just does, right? Like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, capitalism as a system, eventually you, like I said, eventually you run out of you run out of things to purchase.
Yeah.
And the only thing left is
power.
You purchase your position.
Yeah.
And exemptions from the rules. And that's all you do. An oligarch is nothing more than somebody who has succeeded in capitalism. I don't
here's where I
don't believe an oligarch is just a symptom of capitalism. I think it can be a symptom of other structures, but I think primarily it's capitalism. We see them in Russia. Russia's mostly, controlled by oligarchs, and they're also a hyper capitalist nation. So it's not like, we see this almost everywhere that capitalism has taken hold, which is frankly most of the world. But at the end of the day, it's whoever makes the most amount of money, they can, and as long as you own the most amount of things, and especially if you come from like a wealthy family or you come from a lot of money, it is going to be exponentially easier for you to always do that. So it's not, it's for me, it's the incentive structure. This is Tucker Carlson without wanting fairness and wanting this without a challenge or an alternative system to capitalism, I think will get him nowhere, in the sense of like the change he wants, he needs to reject large elements, if not outright capitalism, if he wants at least the first one. At the very least, the first one. It's because there's like a saying, it's like democracy and capitalism are mutually exclusive. You can't really have one without the other, which for the most part, I think I would generally agree. I don't know if I would agree that there's like no level of capitalism that you can also have functional democracy. But I think as long as there is someone who can waive either their productive capability, like even if we got money out of politics, right? Even if you got money out of politics, the capitalist owner of like a factory that builds cars, right, still has a disproportionate control over the local job prospects. So they will go to a government official like a mayor or whoever and say, all right, I need certain tax breaks that are, that incentivize me to stay here. And if you don't give me those, I will take all of the jobs from the people, your constituents, who will then be very upset with you, and I will ship them out to elsewhere. It's what generally happened with NAFTA. But like, as long as those people are still allowed to control those things in a totalitarian manner, the way that capitalism defends the private ownership rights, we're never going to get away from this. There will always be people who just have a disproportionate amount of say in our system. That's just flat out. You will never get away from that. But, I mean, it's a nice thought. It's what he's talking about is controlling the symptoms. It's not curing the problem. And my guess is, as I read through these, my guess is that a lot of these will be the same thing. That like, you're like, I'll be interested to see how many of them I end up saying until you reject capitalism and move on to whatever that next system is. Doesn't necessarily have to be socialism. That's what I advocate for. But like, whatever that has to be, the incentives need to change, and the way that we organize labor and organize property rights needs to change. So that's my point one. I haven't read Sovereign yet. I haven't been cheating. But well, before we move on, would you, if you have any other things you'd like to ask or comment, please feel free.
Well, so here's the thing: I think I agree with most of honestly what you're saying. Like, you know what I mean? But I guess okay. Let me ask it this way, maybe. Can we both sort of kind of agree that both sides do see that there's a problem with the wealth disparity, with the and it's really just an addressing of the problem, right?
If you mean like, I mean, yeah, I mean, look, there's no amount of gaslighting you can tell people.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I will agree with you.
If they can't afford groceries, they can't afford groceries.
Yeah, but I will tell you this: that I have come around to agreeing with you at this point that there is a sect of the MAGA base that genuinely is cultish, that like legitimately is like, it's like 33%, between 25 and 33% of the populace that is legitimately like.
Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. They're just gone.
It is, it's crazy, but because I mean, and you see it with the Iran war. Like, there's a point where, like, at this point, in my opinion, if you haven't seen the red flags, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, it's pretty much over for you. But also, I wonder how much of that is just that they have not seen any content outside of some dude on Fox News. You know what I mean? Which is like the gerontocracy issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's where they get their news, and unfortunately, like,
and then that's obviously its own separate fucking issue. And I knew, by the way, this first one was going to be the biggest one, only because talking about the Epstein class and the economic issue of it. And I do think that you're right in that, you know, the distinction of the Epstein class is more like an obsession cultish thing versus the concept of like, just, hey guys, the people at the top and this system is now being used against you, which is really what needs to be said. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what really needs to be said.
I mean, Tucker Carlson doesn't want, at the end of the day, he's not anti-capitalist. He is totally fine with capitalism. He himself has benefited from the system that we live under. Like, he got to start on third base. I mean,
no, I get it.
He doesn't want to see the system overturned.
Yeah.
But he needs to find a way to address the real world problem, which is like, we have mass corruption in our government, amongst other things.
You know
but
what?
It's like, if you just make it Epstein class, it's like, oh no, like, capitalists are good. It's the child raping ones that are bad. And it's like, all right, but like there's nothing stopping the non-child ones to just,
well, okay, you know what, actually, now
the
that I think about it,
there's nothing stopping the non-diddlers
no,
from
I agree.
becoming diddlers.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
No systemic
and actually,
way
now
to
that I've thought about this, because now that I'm remembering some stuff, so okay, let's get to the next one. So let's
get to the next one.
Yeah, because so actually I do want to play a part of what he says when he says sovereign. Okay. Because I'll read this one, and then we'll listen to a little bit of him, and we'll just stop at a point, because there is a part where he starts talking about how the system currently economically just isn't working. Like, he admits that. So let's, you know what I mean, just sort of kind of, because he talks about
I would argue it's working as intended, but that's just me.
Well, I'm saying, he argues it in the sense that we are beholden to these companies because of, and he uses it in reference to being sovereign as a country. You know what I mean? Because like, which I actually think is maybe a point that you might be like, you know what? Okay, fair enough, whatever. So let's just, let's see here. Let me go over here real quick. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh my God, are we gonna get the Save America or Save America movement? Is it, what is that? What would that be? Would that be
SAM?
I guess. Save, yeah. What is? Oh, is that really as bright as that goes? Oh, it's because no.
So, all right, I'll read this one. So, number 2, sovereign. Carlson claimed Israel pushed the U.S. into the Iran war through bribery or threat or both, while describing foreign lobbying, corporate control of government, and high interest debt as forms of slavery.
Well, that's dumb. I mean, using slavery is just dumb, mainly because that's not what slavery means. But I understand what he's saying.
Fair enough. I mean, if that's the issue, then sounds good. Let me see here. So
I mean, no, there's like, I mean, I have a lot of issues with this, but we can continue.
Well, so let's just I have it on 1.25 just so that we don't sit here forever. But so let's
say how long does he draw? Jesus Christ, this is an hour and 40
minutes. Oh, yeah, that's why we're not gonna do the whole fucking. We're not. Yeah, no. Hey, look, random. Yeah, okay. So,
second thing,
all right,
that you need America to be is sovereign. What does sovereign mean? Sovereign means free from outside influence, the right to make decisions on your nation's behalf or your own behalf without being told what to do.
I mean,
sovereignty
that's not what
is a synonym
sovereign
for
means.
freedom. The opposite of sovereignty is slavery, where you have no choice. So when your nation is not sovereign, of course, it leads to things like the Iran War, which you do
literally you can't exist
both
without
by Israel, which is exactly what happened.
Influence of other countries. Like that's not we don't live on a one state planet. Like that's not how that works. But it's literally not. You know,
we didn't
that's
get
like
through
saying that's like saying being able to hear is. That's like saying being able to hear is that would be like saying being able to hear, or having the ability to hear is like being able to not have to hear anything you never like. And it's like, no, that's.
I don't think that's the argument he's making.
No, but that's what he said is like sovereign. Go back to what he said about sovereign. That's not what sovereignty means.
Whoop.
The second thing
that's also not how
that you need America to be is sovereign. What does sovereign mean? Sovereign means free from outside influence.
Free from outside. Yeah, that's not. You are never free from outside influence. There's literally what 200, 300 other countries, whatever.
Yeah,
how many countries are on the planet. I actually don't know.
Well, I don't think he means specifically that like you don't care whatsoever. It means that you are not beholden to the influence of another country, like meaning specifically that you are controlled by another country or an outside influence.
No, but that's not the same. Okay, so looking up sovereign, independent state is usually the other term, which a country or government that is free from external control. That's not what he said. He said free from outside influence. Those aren't the same thing.
Okay, well, because now we're being semantic. Now we're being semantic.
No, I'm not. No. Whoa. No. I want to say I am being a bit semantic, but the reason I'm being a bit semantic is because he filmed this, he wrote it, they did it in his studio, they edited it. Like, at the end of the day, Tucker Carlson is a, by trade, communicator. If he wanted to put free from external control, he could have put that, but he very explicitly put free from outside influence, which is different. You are never free from outside influence. You can be free from external control. I also would argue that he knows the same way, I think, like anybody in the know knows, that we are not controlled. And I already know he's going to say Israel. We're not controlled by Israel. As Bill Clinton said back in the 90s, I'm sorry, who's the world superpower here in this conversation? Like, Israel is an extension of our military and our like private industry interests, but like they're not that like they don't the dog does not walk the human. We are the human. Israel does nothing unless we want them to. And the fact that like what's happening now means that our government's perfectly fine with it. Like they don't give a fuck. They get to blame all the like bullshit on Israel, and they get to skate on the consequences, or at least on some of the blame. Anyway, continue.
Well, okay.
And Tucker Carlson knows this. So again, he's more in the know than you and I are. He knows all the conversations that Hegseth and the rest of them have.
I understand.
So him blaming Israel is like,
I do have a couple issues with this, but I'm not gonna get into it yet. Here, so I'm gonna go pee real quick, but I'm gonna press play. I'm gonna try to just listen for a second.
I'm not. Okay. Yeah, I'm listening. I'm
do your thing. Okay, I'll be right back.
The right to make decisions on your nation's behalf or your own behalf without being told what to do. Sovereignty is a synonym for freedom. The opposite of sovereignty is slavery, where you have no choice.
Sovereignty is not.
So when your
a
nation is
synonym
not
for freedom,
sovereign,
and it's not
of course,
the
it leads to
opposite
things
of
like the
slavery,
Vietnam
guys.
War, which you do under bribery or threat or both by Israel, which is exactly what happened, and everybody knows that. So you're not sovereign there.
Okay, how could they possibly bribe
But
us?
more
Their
than that,
economy is smaller.
people lose confidence in their own country. What is my country worth if we can't even make our own decisions? Of course, it gives a lie to the idea of a representative democracy. They're not representing me; they're representing the lobbyists, and not just from Israel, by the way, from every big industry in the United States.
Lobbyists
from tech to pharma and
oh,
telecom
big
and all of them.
industry, really? Who
But
controls
certainly it
those
is
big
real. And that's
industry and
taking place in real
lobbyists?
time. And shouting at you that you're a Nazi or a bad person for noticing isn't really adequate. It doesn't answer the question, why is this okay? Because it's not okay. And everybody knows it's not okay.
Well, no, you
So
would say
sovereignty
no, the problem is you're saying
essential, or else
because
why have a country?
you would
Even a
you're
monarchy,
you're
maybe
drawing a
especially
line
a
of
monarchy,
like
is sovereign. In fact, the monarch is called the
the
sovereign.
external
And that means
force
he gets to
being
make
Israel.
decisions on his own, hopefully
Well
with the interests of
knowing
people in mind. But certainly in
that
democracy,
Israel's
it's central to
talking
the whole
point
project.
is that
But it doesn't
Israel
just
equals
matter to
Jews.
the state, it matters to the person.
Meaning
We have
that,
sovereignty
like,
as
you know,
people. We didn't create our own
it's
lives,
kind of the Jews.
but we're
That's
responsible
just
for them
kind
while
of,
we're
yeah.
here, despite our many connections to other people. In the end, the promise is a free man gets to make free decisions. You can't be forced, I don't know, to take
That's
some
not-
experimental medicine
why-
you don't
why
want. No one
did-
can force you to do it.
Cody, why do conservatives do this? Why do
Sorry,
they pretend
I
that
didn't
like,
hear what he said. So
No, he was saying like he was why I just want to ask like why you're more keyed into their like worldview or whatever. Why do conservatives do this thing where they like treat the nation, they like talk about the nation, which is, you know, a lot of people, as like, and as a metaphor use like individual man, like an individual. Those aren't like, that's not
Ooh.
how like nations
Ooh.
work.
ooh, yeah, I understand what you're getting at. Yeah.
The answer to this is a little bit of fascism, but like, but you know, that's like seems to be really universal in like all right wing.
That's
anything
I
I've ever
understand.
seen.
I understand what you're getting at, and I guess the way that I would explain it, because I actually think I probably am guilty of this, probably too. Maybe not nearly as much as like I do try to separate coming from obviously the more anarchic space, if you will, where like I don't like anybody to tell anybody what to do. I'll be honest with you. That's just sort of kind of, you know what I mean? I realize that systems need to be there and then we need to use them and all that kind of stuff. But I do see a lot of especially like mainstream conservative types that will definitely, like, I guess what the word is what's the word? It's amorphosize. When
Anthropomorphize.
yes,
is, I believe, the word
anthropomorphize
you're looking for.
the government as like an individual, like a person, like the country is a single thing that they think about as an entity. And so if it which I understand why you say that becomes fascist, because that means whatever the state needs, you have to do, right? Because at the end of the day, if the state's will is one thing, then there is no questions, right? Like, you know what I mean? Which I think probably Tucker Carlson is probably guilty of when he thinks about, I didn't hear what he was talking about, but it does happen a lot when conservatives talk about the government. Even though they talk about personal freedom, they talk about freedom in the sense when it comes to a geopolitical perspective as like this thing that we have to like have the freedom to do whatever we want in the world, when that's not the way that it actually works geopolitically. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like on a statewide perspective, like an internal perspective, I agree, but on a global geopolitical perspective, the way that they talk about the country is very weird. when it comes to that, if that makes sense. But I'm guilty of doing it as well. Like, you know what I mean? So I you know, but for whatever reason, they always use it in this weird way where they're like, I don't know. They like, I guess the word is they use the free will of the state as a cudgel to dictate their force in the world, you know, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think that's a weird thing that they do that I'm not a fan of. So yeah. Does that help anything?
Yeah, I'm just reading. I'm like doing a very as quick as I can read of Umberto Eco's 14 points to see if I can find the one. Because there's a it's, you saw a lot of it in like Nazi Germany where it was like everything you do is for the state, right? Like it is like you are strong for the state. And but there's that like
wouldn't you say that's the same idea as like, for example, like I'm not making this is like a just, wouldn't that be the socialist aspect of it? It's for the state that you do these things, like the communist aspect. Like, I'm not saying I necessarily think that that's true per se, but that is, if you're taking over national resources and different things like that as a means for the will of the state, that is that means you don't have personal freedom, like as a citizen.
Well, I mean, like, okay, yes, under probably more like Soviet style.
Well, that's what the Nazis did too.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong; these aren't like exclusive.
And that's what Mao Zedong did. That's what North Korea did. That's what, you know what I mean?
What the fuck? Why is it not? Oh, that's
because and I don't disagree that necessarily there are certain things.
It's a yes and no, because what I'm more talking about is the intertwining of the is the detachment of self-individual and the attachment to like the state and its goals, or the state and its like and like what, like there's one of the characteristics is I always have to go back and like double check because I forget which one is which. Oh my god, where is it? Everybody know. Where the fuck? Oh, there it is. The cult of action for action's sake. Quote, action being beautiful in itself, it must be taken before or without any previous reflection. Thinking is a form of emasculation. So it's the idea of like, you need to do this for the state. We need to make the state strong, because then there's like all of the rest of them,
and they use that a lot with the military and like the Pentagon, and they use that a lot with that.
The other big one is point 8, which is the enemy is both strong and weak. By a continuous shifting of rhetorical focus, the enemies are at the same time too strong and too weak.
I agree.
It's the idea, like you see that all the fucking time.
Iran is like, they have a nuclear weapon or something, but also it's their dirt people and they're nobody. You know what I mean?
But it's like, also like, if you pay attention to Republican rhetoric, and I just mean like Republicans 90s, 2000s, 2010s, this is not like a new thing for them. But they've always played this game of like, Democrats are super strong. They're going to take away your guns. They're going to take away your freedom. They're going to take away your hamburgers. But then also they'll play the game of like, these Democrats aren't popular and they're so stupid and they're just a bunch of baristas.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and the reason
I see what you're saying.
That is to constantly ratchet up and make people feel fear when the enemy is strong, and then feel dominance and like ego when they are weak. So it's like a constant feed.
It's the big bag Democrats, but also their trans furries.
Yeah.
No, Trump does this all the time. I get it. I get it. Yeah. No, I understand that. And that is definitely a thing that they do. And I mean, I hate that shit because, I mean, I don't know. When I think of I'll probably let me put this on the record. Okay. When I think of like strong Democrats, like genuinely like worthwhile, helpful American citizens that are left, you know what I mean? I think of people like union workers. You know what I mean? I think of like genuine, like Teddy Roosevelt. Well, maybe not Teddy Roosevelt, but like,
Teddy Roosevelt was base as fuck.
Yeah, no, he was. But
Teddy Roosevelt's like, oh, you're not gonna make munitions because you'd like to make a profit?
But Teddy, like FDR, people like that. You know what I mean? FDR has a quote where they criticized him horribly at the time because he used basically what Trump is doing with basically overusing the power of the executive, but he did it for good things. Like they hated him at the time, but it was for good shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there are great American leftists who fight for genuinely the working class citizen. And those are like
a lot more.
It
depresses me where
I agree.
Democrats are it's post Clinton. It's post neoliberalism and Reagan in the 80s.
Well, what I was about to say,
being chased by.
Well, I agree. What I was about to say though is the entire duopoly. I would call it a duopoly of the American political system.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. Has created a unipolar basically system that both of the sides are neocons in different flavors, right?
Yeah.
And so it is the neocon agenda specifically that has rotted the entire system, just the whole fucking thing from left to right. You know what I mean? Like Obama bombing Yemen. You know what I mean? It's Trump doing all of the things he's doing. It's Biden letting Israel have a genocide in Gaza. It's the whole thing. You know what I mean?
I'll admit Biden also is even worse because Biden's like a actual believing Zionist.
No, he is.
He genuinely believes that that land was promised to them, so they get to mulch whoever they want, which is just like, okay, cool. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what your fucking holy book says. Like, I don't give a fuck about your holy book if you're from Iran. I can give a fuck about your holy book.
Has nothing to do with me.
Here, I can give a fuck about your holy book. I'm not a theocracy guy. And the idea that we've like propped up this fucking fascist theocratic state just because it's helpful to our geopolitical ambitions in the region.
Well, the thing is that pisses me off
the
is
cost of that is all the death and destruction.
I mean, here's the thing is I would say
we have a tweet from a dumb fuck.
Oh wait, hold on.
I see. He said, Monte West 931 said legal voters elected Trump. Sorry, coward, lying, traitorous. Buddy, do you know how to write sentences?
Hold on.
I hope you're still here. Learn how to write a sentence.
Hold on.
Also use punctuation.
Hold on now. Real quick. Because I already know Josh we already know what you're going to say. I have a better response to this because while I didn't vote, I would have voted for him. And the problem is again, like we've talked about this in the past, the motherfucker just lied. The motherfucker just like, don't get me wrong. Josh,
boo,
we fell for it.
Traitorous, boo.
But like we thought that he was gonna not do the shit that he's doing, and guess what? He fucking is. Like he ran on all the opposite shit that he's fucking doing. So I mean, I know that everybody on the left was right in saying he was a traitor and he was a liar and this and that, and whatever, fine. But it is what it is. Like. You got to call balls and strikes. Like a motherfucker's just wrong when, he's doing the shit that he's doing. It's just, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? But anyway, let's just let's just hop to the next one, because so I want to get to these. We'll sort of kind of speed through some of the list a little bit, and then we'll go to the Dre dossier stuff, if that's okay.
All right, cool.
So let's see here.
Yeah. I'll try to be more swift.
No, you're good, dude.
I can just say it's capitalism for all of them if you want.
I know you're gonna say it. It's just that's what's gonna happen.
I know. It's boring. I know it gets old. It's like, Josh, your answer to everything is capitalism and the structures that it builds. I know.
All right.
I just got to make sure. I got to get everyone used to like. Okay, yeah. I got to do my job here.
You're good.
Am I reading it or do you want to read it?
You can do this one.
All right. America should rebuild farming, manufacturing, and craftsmanship while rejecting an economy dominated by finance, real estate speculation, surveillance system, and weapons. That sounds great to me. Here's the fundamental problem. The economy is controlled by capitalists, and it's easier to make money by financialization, real estate speculation, surveillance system, and weapons. Until the working class is able to have control over the resources that right now we deem the only real decision maker to be the owners of those, until we force worker democracy in the workplace, you will never see any of those get fixed. Because at the end of the day, that's what our they will never do any of that, because the profit motive demands that they chase profits. And they chase profits. The easiest way to do that is to eliminate your costs. And the easiest way to do that is, more financialization and more automation and more everything else that's wrong with this economy. Like, it is efficient. We have an efficient economy. The problem is that like it's only efficient. It's becoming more and more efficient for less and less people. And like, there's just, it's because the incentives are, if you own shit, it's great. And the system's going to be even better for you. But if you don't own shit, you're pretty fucked.
That's fair. Well, I would say this. Basically, like, he does say something in the sovereign part as well, which sort of kind of bleeds into this a little bit, where he talks about he wants to get rid of debt lending, which or like high interest lending, you know what I mean? Which I think is a good idea in a lot of ways. And I think that would be a good step in the right direction to be able to help with some of this stuff. But the problem is, again, like agricultural things are a thing that maybe should be in a lot of ways helped by a nationalized system. You know what I mean? My only issue with that is, can I real quick?
Farmers should just get paid by the government.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with that, and I want to agree with you on that. I really do. Mm-hmm. I don't trust the government to pay them enough. I don't trust the government to give them an adequate wage.
No, but that's what I'm saying. What I'm baking into it is like any farmer should basically live incredibly comfortably. I mean, other than the like backbreaking labor, obviously, but they should basically be able to do the farming work that they want to do and never have to worry about financials.
I would agree with that. And we would have to change the system in a way that we're able to like basically become net exporters of food, which we basically are. But the problem is we would need to make it even more equitable for the farmer to do so, right? Like we would need to, there's a lot of, I agree with everything I'm sure you're about to, like, you know what I mean? I'm just sort of kind of just putting it out there that like,
it's just eliminating the profit motive. That's my angle on it, is eliminating the profit motive, because people, I don't want somebody farming and like, they need to worry about like, I need to be able to pay for this, I need to pay for that, I need to do this. What I want them chiefly focused on is farming my fucking goods in my country. I don't want them worried about the house. I don't want them worried about the car. I want them to, like, obviously there will be people who are irresponsible and aren't good with money. Can't help that. But for the most part, and as a general rule, I want people to go into farming because they're like, I get taken care of. I get to farm the shit I want to farm. Or maybe it's just I get to farm, and sometimes the government comes and goes, hey, we need this farmed. You live in whatever region that this gets farmed at. We're at a shortage. Something's going on. You need to farm this.
I agree with that,
and
but here's my one thing with this, and I agree with you in the sense, because that's how for the most part we have done things. Like we would just subsidize, for example, with soybeans or something like that, right? We were like, we need to export soybeans, so we'll start paying farmers to do the soybean, farming, and which all good, sounds great. Here's the problem. And this is, I think, where I think you'll probably agree with me, whether you knew about this part or not, but the whole meat packing monopoly industry and the whole so all of that stuff. So it's the trust busting. It's the square deal type shit that needs to happen. That, like, even though I am obviously more conservative than you, I would still say that, like, we need to have the government come in and just basically I don't know if the word would be deregulate or overregulate. It would be re-regulate. You know what I mean?
I would say, I if you ask me, the government should just seize, like, Purdue and whatever the rest of the factory farmings. They should just be seizing their land and property and going, like, you're done with this. You can. But the thing is that
you are right. But the thing is that the Purdue farmers don't, or Purdue doesn't. That's not exactly the way it works. Like, I agree with you, but that's not exactly the way it works. Purdue is the company that these mass farms ship to. They're not technically owned
I know.
by.
Yeah, but they have contracts, and they have all the.
Yeah.
I've seen those videos of all the bullshit.
No,
that they
I
have
agree.
To do
I agree.
To stay in line, all of that stuff. All of that is how Purdue, and we're just using Purdue as an example.
Yeah.
But all of the unfair and unequal contracting that our legal system defends is on behalf of Purdue Farms, because they don't want to. Purdue Farms does not.
And that's because they own lobbyists that are able to buy politicians and things like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to. Yeah, they spend the money they save on actually having to run farms or actually having to run facilities. The money they save on being able to contract that out and have unfair contracts, they save money through that process, and then they use it to essentially enshrine their legal status into law. So what really just needs to happen is, frankly, I don't think the profit margin should be involved with a couple things: housing, food production, national security, and I'm sure there's a couple more. But those are the big three. Like, those are the three. I'm sure there's more national parks.
But here, can I just real quick though,
where it's like, people should.
Can I give you the fear of people who are? Can I give you the fear of people who? And this is a mini fear I have. It's a mini fear, okay? Because I don't necessarily think that it would ever get to this, but this is what happened in other societies that nationalized the agriculture, right? Is, for example, like in China, right? During the Great Leap Forward and stuff like that, what they would do is they would round up all of the food that was produced from the fields, and you as an individual owner of that farm, you wouldn't be allowed to, for example, even if you were fucking in a famine, you wouldn't be allowed to eat the food that you were farming, right? And so that is the problem of the nationalization of it. It's not that it's because you don't then own the production, like the means of your production in that way. Does that make sense? So that's why people.
I am arguing
scared.
for state control of certain industries.
I know, but this is why I like. I personally am more of a. This is why I think a hybrid system would be better. That's why I'm saying that, is because I agree with you. that there should be some kind of base level of government run or subsidized industries that are able to produce these things at a mass scale for us and to be able to do the things you're talking about. However, I think that by necessity creates an issue of an abuse of power, where you then are not allowing people to, again, have ownership over the literal means. Like, it's the same argument that you know, the left makes, is ownership of the means of the production, meaning like if it's a conflict.
Can I
does
jump
that
in
make
on
sense?
that specific point?
It's sort of kind of like a contradiction.
Here's the big difference. Here's the big difference. If you are producing Air Jordans, right? Do people need Air Jordans? Absolutely not. Like, you know, there is an argument of like people need shoes, sure, but like if you're producing Air Jordans, it's like whatever, man. Like you can have a certain level of like, you know, personal control, whatever. But when we're talking about food, the thing that we as a society need, and not like on a light level, like this is a number one, keep your people fed. Number two, keep them defended. Like it is a societal and human necessity. So it like your question of like, oh, but like, what about the individual rights of ownership in that sense? To me, I'm like, look, motherfucker, if you want to raise your own chickens for yourself, go right ahead. You are allowed to obviously do that because that's just you on your own property. But if you want to sell, if you want to live on the like, you know, if you want to build a life that is comfortable, that is all of these things by feeding America, you're going to feed America by the needs that America has.
But what if you're just a guy who owns a farm and is trying to feed the community, and then the government comes in and says, hey, you have a large enough quote unquote farm, and now the entire community is fucked because you just got nationalized by the government and now you can't sell to your community.
Why is the community fucked? Because you got nationalized.
Because what if you are the larger farm in the area and you are helping to feed all of the people in this community? You know what I mean? It doesn't. Sure. And let's say we're talking on a growth scale. Like let's
when you say you're like feeding the community, what are we talking?
I'm saying you're having a good relationship, buying, selling with the community. Everybody's being fed, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so how are you buying and selling? What currency are you doing it with?
I don't know, whatever the currency of the...
Probably American dollars, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's in the national interest, and obviously this wouldn't come from the national government; it would be state governments to come and visit you. But like, that would just be the conversation of, hey, you're making corn for the community. That's great, excellent, love that. We would like to employ you as a corn grower. Mm-hmm. Would you like to do that? That's really
you're talking it's not so in that sense it's not necessarily I mean you are nationalizing in a sense, but you're more just subsidizing.
I mean, yeah, to some, depending on like
you see what I'm saying, like by
specific
the
stuff. I mean, I wouldn't call it subsidization, because what I wouldn't argue for is.
But so you're not for like the militarily like like what's it called, nationalization of the entire agricultural industry.
No, it probably wouldn't be a national,
because you see what I'm saying,
like an
right?
Employment program. Yeah, I mean, look, all these farms all exist, and what they exist on are margins. What I want is for them to not exist on margins and just exist on is the land good? Can you do this? Can you do that? I want the profit incentive to be out of agriculture, because like not completely, because there are always going to be people like same with healthcare where they're like, oh, but I want to grow like extra expensive organic alfalfa. And it's like, that's fine. If you want to do that, totally fine. But that's a different license. And if you'd like to play in that ballpark, you can do so. But in terms of like the farmland and who we like, who we give grants to, or who we allow to buy, to purchase the land off of, things of that nature. It's like, you want to run a big farm? you want to raise, cattle, whatever the fuck, you want to do mass production. All right, we are going to employ you, give you a good, stable life. And in exchange, you're going to feed the country. Because and I'll be honest, I think that's what most farmers want. Most farmers want to farm their shit and know that they're doing good, honest work.
Well, to be fair, that is basically what the system has been for the most part up until fairly recently. You know what I mean? It's been a joint cooperation between the government and the farmers to make sure that the country is well fed. Like, you know what I mean? Whether it be through subsidies like that, and I understand you're talking basically one step further than that, which is basically like, we basically employ you as
it's not subsidies. I wouldn't be
I understand. That's why I said you would employ that person and you would just buy off the rights to their farm. Is that sort of kind of?
No, they can keep their farm. It's just it's one of those where it's like, hey, you got your farmland, you got all your shit. Here's your, whatever monthly paycheck. Keep the food coming.
Well, then that's not really nationalization then.
No, I mean, obviously, like
that's not government ownership if the government isn't telling you what you're farming. You know what I mean?
No, but there would be elements where, it's like, hey, we need potatoes. I need you to do potatoes this season. I need this. I need that. We're at a shortage of this. There is like obviously going to be a level of like state control of like, hey, we need this. Like, if you're like in this region, we need you to farm this. If you're in this region, we need you to farm that. There's obviously that.
Yeah, but then you create monoculture, and then that's like a whole other issue, right?
What do you mean monoculture?
Monoculture, meaning when you grow the same things over and over, you destroy the soil.
No, that's not what I just mean like when the nation needs a resource, specifically, we have the ability to go, hey, we own, we employ all of the farmers in this country. We need to use their productive capabilities to get the things we need, which are, maybe it's potatoes, maybe it's
no. I understand what you're saying. I guess my only point hinges on the fact that then you have to trust the government to know what you should be able to farm in that area or what you can, and then they would basically be like able to just tell you.
I mean, a farmer doesn't live. I mean, that's one of those where like a farmer who has to grow. Again, I don't know farming shit, but like if you're a farmer in Nebraska, you probably are growing the thing that grows well in Nebraska.
Well, here's the thing. So, for example, in the Dust Bowl, for example, the reason that the Dust Bowl happened is because we overfarmed those areas because people were getting massive subsidies from the government to be able to overfarm this land, and then you create an issue where people, because of a monetary incentive or a governmental incentive, are overfarming a land.
Monetary if they're overfarming it because.
Well, the government is continuing to pay them based on. So, for example, it's like they'll pay you based on the barrel of fucking lima bean or whatever that you're able to farm, and so then people will overfarm an area, and then that area will become dead.
Okay, so why do they do that? Why do they do that?
It's because the monetary incentive, and which is the capitalistic incentive, which is I understand. I'm just saying
that's the end of it. It's like,
I get what you're getting at. Yeah,
and it's just farmers being farmers.
Yeah,
that's what I want. I just want farmers being farmers.
No, I agree.
And not having to like fucking commit seppuku on their fields.
Yeah,
because their fucking farm is going under, even though they're doing the thing that I want them to do. I want them to grow the food that Americans need to eat. I just don't want them doing it under financial stress. Like what our farmers do, especially now, farming is so much fucking like smarter and more well-informed, especially from back then. Like farming is a completely different industry than it was even like 100 years ago. We're so much better about understanding that stuff. Like there's like a whole Department of Agriculture that knows all about all the intricacies of where to farm, what to farm, when to farm it, that sort of stuff. And the people individually know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah. I just want us to be able to get what we need, and the people who do it get to live a nice life. Like I think like farming is a fucking bedrock to society. So we need to fucking treat it like so.
You'll like this comment, Josh. Go ahead.
Nothing but dog wash. Oh god, yeah. Hothron I'm gonna hope I pronounce that right. I mean, his 10-point plan is pretty much nothing but dog wash. People have been saying stuff like that for decades, but one famous person says it. Now everyone treats this if it's gospel. I mean, yeah, I mean, like a lot of this stuff is it's painting with a broad brush to a degree, and it's just, again, if you're not willing to change the incentive structures, most, at least the first couple, just aren't gonna happen. There's just nothing you can do about that. Also, I looked up historical cases of like mass nationalization of the agriculture departments in other countries. When I'm looking at the list, most of them all come from specifically communist or like authoritarian regimes. And I think the big difference in a like stopgap to what you're worried about, that like governmental abuse, democracy is the stopgap to that. Because at the end of the day, like, we have, under a functional democracy, I don't think anybody, like, you know,
I agree with this point. I agree with this point. But can I say something about it?
The, you know, fucking execute the farmers, you know, bill. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, no rational, normal American wants farmers to do anything other than like farm their land and, you know, fucking put a wheat thing in their mouth and fucking lean back in a chair on a porch and do the whole like thing. Like,
yeah,
that's all. That's all any of us really want.
I think the issue is
us
that
to get fed and everyone to be happy.
I think the issue becomes that basically that like if this was a direct democracy, I think this problem wouldn't nearly be as bad. You know what I mean? Like,
we're too large for a direct democracy.
No, I know, but my
the
point
implementation
is that,
of all this would be on the state level, by the way. Like
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's
100%.
Like,
yeah,
you know, you can't implement this on the federal level. You would have to implement this state by state and have like state offices that manage and, you know, are in contact with all the farms in the state, so that they have an understanding of like, okay, what do you guys need? What are you guys seeing on the ground? What's happening, you know, with climate change, shit like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I understand. I just I think it's the worries are valid of nationalizing food in some ways, but I do understand what your point and what you're getting at is. I have my concerns, but I agree with you on most of it for the most part. Oh, did he say something? Oh, what's up? Here, you want to read this one too?
Yeah, Huthran, democracy is the very reason why it's bad, because we have so many uneducated people who haven't, sir, don't throw stones, people who haven't even looked up one article in their life, having the same voting power as a philosopher, period.
Yeah, I mean, that's somewhat fair. That's true.
I mean, there's a, yeah, I mean, look, democracy is messy.
But then that's the argument for like voting, what's it called? Like voting education tests and things like that.
Poll tests.
And that's a slippery slope. Like, I mean, not to say that it can't be done in some ways morally well, you know what I mean? But it is the slippery slope to, well, then no one can vote but the elites. You know what I mean? Like, that's,
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna, yeah.
It's the
I'm not gonna pretend like I have the answer of like what democracy, perfect democracy. I'm definitely not smart enough for that answer.
Well, my thing would be, here's the thing: is I would say that like I would like at this point, I think, a direct democracy more than I would like a representative democracy if it's the representatives we have now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I do tend to lead these days more towards direct democracy if you're voting on a single issue versus on like omnibus bills and bullshit like that. Like, if you can genuinely have like people abdicating their responsibility of being politically literate basically to somebody, I think is somewhat lazy. But I mean, I understand that, as you're saying, like, we're too big of a society at this point, and like a country, and there's just people with dumb decisions, and you got to have people who can disseminate whether or not that's actually a good decision based on having this information, or, you know what I mean, or what, like,
yeah,
I get it. It
also doesn't help when you have capitalists like actively dumbing, like,
the people down,
the citizenry.
Yeah, no.
Like, well, you let somebody own and operate Fox News and then wonder why are boomers and Republicans so stupid? Like, I don't know. You told them don't go. You told a lot of them like college is bad, and literally like have created your own universe of like non-facts that they live with. So it's like,
yeah. Well, let's run through the rest of these just real quick. I'll just read the rest of them because honestly, we don't even have any.
I don't even have very much to say about the beautiful one. I think that's just silly. And
well, I do think there is something
really
to a little bit of like the fact that we haven't tried to make anything pretty anymore, and I do think that is a little bit of an issue. But also, I think that's
Would you like to know why?
Capitalism.
Because it costs more. It costs more money to have nicer stuff.
I got you. And then was it healthy? I mean, his
also,
example is
also,
the
wait,
RFK.
no, I do have a problem. American cities and portrayed brutalist architecture. What's wrong with brutalism? Brutalism's kind of cool. I think you should have a mix, but I think when you pass by that sick brutalist building in every city, it's kind of cool. I think we should just have better.
I don't know about that, but I understand.
Graffiti's cool.
Yeah, graffiti fine.
I mean, graffiti's cool. Public drug use
I
is.
do, but that's
I don't know what he's
different.
talking about. Public drug use is illegal.
Yeah,
So
I
don't know what
but
he means by
it's the Republican talking point
urban
of like
planners. What do urban planners have to do with drug use and violent crime?
he's talking about urban
happens
planning
because
being
of-
bad because like of infrastructure being bad.
I mean, it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. We like the problem. So again, this comes back to like the problem being the reason why we've planned the way we plan cities is like, I mean, just out of social change. Like we should be bulldozing like every fucking suburb in this country. They're incredibly like unproductive and they just zap fucking resources. Like dense urban cities are where people should be living in the 2020s.
I don't
We should
agree
all
with
be
that.
packed into like sick ass.
See, this is a
fucking
whole. I
walkable
disagree with this
transit
wholly.
cities.
I disagree with this wholly, but that's just I want
What
suburbs.
you don't like what's it called? You don't like cities? You don't like downtowns?
I do, but that's a place
beating
you can
heart
go
of
to.
American life?
I don't think it is. It is. I disagree with it being the beating heart of American life too, but
It is. It literally. It objectively it is where all the commerce happens. It is where all of the art happens. It is where all of the life happens. It's where all the music happens. Fuck all happens in the suburbs. Nothing but fucking.
See, I just
nothing but,
think
like,
you're biased.
extraction
I
from
just
the
think you're
cities.
just a bias.
No, I'm not. I'm not biased. This is objective fact. The suburbs, every suburb in this country is less efficient, like per person, is less efficient on resources, is not productive, and generally does not support a functional society. Because everybody lives in their isolated like house thing, like their little plot that they have. First of all, way too much space. Way too much fucking space.
Oh my god.
Nobody needs like
Okay, I disagree
whole
wholly with this
front
entire
and back
argument.
and
You
multiple
are
floors.
tripping, dude. You are
None of it.
tripping, dude.
None of it. If you're
You
like
are
super rich,
tripping.
like I'm not saying you can't buy it, but it should be basically economically like
You are tripping,
reserved
dude.
only for the ultra wealthy.
This is the saltiest I've ever seen you.
They're
What?
like
This is
not
crazy.
wealthy. They're not walkable. You can only get around in cars, which are
This is
also
crazy.
incredibly inefficient. No, it's not.
This
None
is
of
a
what
crazy
I'm saying
take.
is crazy.
I don't agree with
No,
this at
is,
all.
This is like the mildest take ever.
I don't agree with this at all, dude. What are you talking about? I love
What do you mean, what am I
suburbs.
talking
Suburbs
about?
are the
Suburbs
greatest.
terrible.
They're the greatest.
You're the
okay.
worst. You're the, okay. I just
They're
gotta
the
say,
greatest
first of
thing
all-
in society.
First of all, fuck you. Suburbs are actual fucking death. Like, actual fucking misery. Cul-de-sacs, misery.
Dude, you're tripping.
no.
I'm sorry you had
Do
a
you
bad
know
time.
any of your neighbors?
Yeah.
Did you know any of your neighbors in your
Yeah.
old neighborhood?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, the fuck you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. Okay, who was across from you?
Allie Pardue.
Okay, who was next to you?
Mikey, the Rogers, Mikey and Peter, and then
No,
to the
next
left.
door. Next door.
Yeah, that's Mikey and that's Mike and Peter Rogers.
Okay. Next to the other side.
Matt Cook and Mike Cook.
You bet. When I say next, I mean like the next number in line. Don't be giving me this like, oh, they're a couple houses.
No. I'm talking. So within the street that I lived, I knew like probably 50% of the house. If it had a kid at it, I knew the kids. So like, for example,
I want everyone to know Cody is full of fucking shit.
That is not true. Okay, so directly to my right. Hold on. So directly to my right was Peter and Peter and
already falling apart.
Peter and he was an adopted kid. He was Asian. He was cool as fuck. He broke my cast once. It was awesome. He lived right next to me, and then across the street.
Have you ever watched Not Just Bikes? You ever watched that channel?
No, I've never seen that.
You should. I'll send you a video.
Okay, but then across the street was Allie. I grew up with her, and then to the next.
Yeah, I know. We went to school with Allie.
Yeah, and then to the next was Mike and his brother Matt. Or no. Sorry, it was Matt Rogers. It was Matt and Peter. And then it was Mikey, and I think it was Matt as well, Cook.
I feel like you're just naming white people.
No.
It's just.
And then to the one, the
also,
house to the left
by the
of
way,
us,
an element to the suburbs, basically all white people.
No.
Because the suburbs were created from white flight in the 1980s.
That is true. There was basically only one black family in the neighborhood. That was Lance.
Yep.
Do you remember Lance?
That's where the token black comes from.
So yeah, and then but like. Basically, the entire quadrant that had kids in my neighborhood, I knew all of them. Like Nick lived down at the end of the block.
You didn't know any of these people.
Huh?
Yeah, but if they didn't have kids, you didn't know any of these people.
No, but why would
not
I?
Just like you knew their names.
But my parents did. My parents knew all of them.
I'm aware of that, but like you don't. There's no community there. They just live.
What do you mean there was no community?
There's no like. What the fuck did you guys? Did y'all have a whole bunch of community events?
Yeah, we all went to Silverbrook.
Like one every.
No, we went to Silverbrook, and we all had like school events.
You went to Silverbrook. You went from your neighborhood all the way to Silverbrook. Why didn't you just do it in your neighborhood?
Well, because it was the entire
it's not walkable
neighborhood.
Because everyone has to drive everywhere.
What do you mean? We walked to school.
You did not walk to school.
It was across the street.
You fucking liar.
It was across the street.
School?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Silverbrook. I thought you meant what's it called?
South County?
Yeah, I was like, you ain't walking that.
No,
Shit,
South
there wasn't
County.
even a sidewalk.
Okay.
Was there even a sidewalk to get all the way from school after that one section? There
wait.
Was there? Oh no, it was on the left side.
Yeah, it was on the left side.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? Yeah.
God, what a poorly planned area.
It was because it was getting built up while we were living there. Did you know that when my family moved there was basically dirt roads everywhere?
Yeah, I fucking bet. And they should have stayed that way.
This is backfiring so bad, Josh. I'm so sorry. This is crazy. You have a crazy take. This is a crazy take. What do you mean?
Nothing I have said. Nothing I have said is anti-factual.
Hey,
a damn thing.
Those families who own the places down there at the village shops, and also the people who owned all the little shopettes down there at the little
yeah, dog. People
that's
should
like
have
the
been
picture
living
of
above
like
those shops.
That's like a picture of like a community. That's like everybody goes to these
dog
little
shit because everyone's spread but you can't get to anything unless you fucking drive.
That's not true. We walk to the village shops all the time.
Yeah, and okay, what's the time differential? What is it, like a 30-minute walk versus a 2-minute drive?
Oh my god!
And by the way, no
dude.
fucking buses in the area, no fucking transit, dog shit region. So fucking bad.
You think there should be a little tram that goes from my house to the fucking?
There should be a fucking streetcar. Well, our area sucks ass. They don't deserve anything. Our area doesn't deserve anything.
Dude, oh my god, this is the craziest shit I've ever heard from you. This is wild.
I'm putting this in chat, and you can pull it up.
This is wild.
The annual cost for a suburban home stands about anywhere between $3,462 in terms of the things and infrastructure that it needs, like per capita, compared to if you're in like an urban setting, in like a townhouse or in like an apartment block. That number gets cut in half down to like 1,400 per person.
Listen,
in terms
man.
of resources.
Listen, man. I think you should be able to have a yard.
I mean, you can have a yard. It should just be in very what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for?
It's the most un-American thing I've ever heard.
Cost restrictive.
This is the most un-American thing I've ever heard from you, Josh. I disagree with everything you're saying.
You're right. No.
Any of this.
Okay, that one I'll sit on. It is fucking un-American. Guess what? America fucking sucks. This fucking country and the way that we've built it and the way that we've organized it, the way that we've planned it, fucking dog
This
water.
is wild.
Fucking dog
I
water.
disagree so heavily.
Fucking suburban sprawl.
Come on, bro.
Fucking dog water. What's worse? Here's the worst part. Every city in this country subsidizes all of those fucking suburbs. Every single one of them. Which is even fucking worse when you think about the land use.
All right. Well, all right,
On
hold
an
on. We're done with
economic
this.
level-
We're done with this for the moment. I'm
economic
taking the
level-
reins, Josh. I'm taking the reins. God damn
Crazy.
it. We're pulling this back. All right, we're pulling it back in. All right. So I'm just gonna list them. Healthy. He wants the country to be healthy again. Obviously,
Also,
you
public
have an
drug use
issue.
has nothing to do with urban planners
yeah.
and none of this violent crime. Violent crime comes from poverty, which is an
Yep,
outstretch
got it.
of our capitalist system and income inequality.
Okay. Honest government officials should be punished for lying
Wait,
to
we're
citizens.
not doing healthy?
Oh, I said
Wait,
healthy.
we're not doing healthy? Oh,
I want
I
to.
didn't hear it. Carlson embraced RFK Jr.'s food agenda. Universal What the fuck is universal sobriety?
I disagree
And
with
said
this
widespread
wholly.
use of drugs such as Xanax, Adderall, and SSRIs had left Americans half-addled. Well, I guess it's a good thing Tucker Carlson doesn't have a medical degree. By the way, did you see that Germany's new government is trying to get rid of universal health care and replace it with private? I did not, but that's also not shocking. Capitalism is coming for neoliberalism and capitalism is coming for everybody. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta do something. There'll be, I mean, like, it's crazy. It's crazy because, like, their government's going that direction and their entire populace is like, absolutely fucking not.
Just read the next one and go ahead and do your thing. I'm gonna go pee.
Okay, honest. Government officials should be punished for lying to citizens. Okay. Most classified records, including on the JFK assassination and 9/11, should be open. Okay, this one is just you don't even need to care about the honest one. It's just signaling. It's just what's it called? What am I thinking? What's the term? What's the fucking term, people? Citizens are fighting back massively, though. If I remember correctly, new head leader of Germany is the lowest. Yep, and they will. Because they don't want our fucking system. Fuck no, they don't want our system. It's inefficient. It costs them money. It like puts them at risk. It costs the nation money in and of itself. The only people who it's good for is private insurers. That's it. That's literally the only thing. But profit motive. Profit motive. Grow the fucking economy. Like even his own vice president told him, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, that's just the honest thing is just a fucking That's just not vice signaling, but I can't remember what the term is. But it's meaningless. Optimistic. Carlson argued that having children is a biological imperative. I wouldn't say it's a biological imperative, but okay. And the foundation of long-term thinking. I think, okay, this is another one of those like fascism takes. Another one of those like fascist things that he engages in, but that's, I mean, not surprising. This kind of goes back to what I was saying about live for the state, die for the state, or that sort of thing. I mean, we were born to fuck. Nah, we were born to live. We're born to live. Like, I mean, he's also not talking about like sex. He's talking about specifically reproducing. So, but also that's not exactly like what a nation is concerned with when it comes to like child rearing and when it comes to like the populace continuing to reproduce is mostly around like economics and the sustainability of the actual country, which I think like at the end of the day, like I don't like if you make having children easier, people will have more kids. But also, like, if they just think the world isn't going to complete shit, if there's like something to look forward to, then they will, reproduce and all the rest of that stuff. Let's see. While blaming aging,
Wait, real
While
quick.
blaming aging and childless elites for policies that disregard future generations.
I actually agree with this point.
What?
The blaming
but
aging
again,
and childless elites.
Aging and childless elites. Most elites. Okay, so most elites don't have kids. I shouldn't say this because a lot of them do have kids, but like generally the rich have less kids than the poor because the rich know that like they don't want to spend the money.
No,
Whereas,
I agree with this. I agree.
Don't have the ability.
I mean, the whole thing about
avoid the cost.
The whole thing is
you know
this.
What I'm saying?
I think the thing that he's getting to, because again, this is all just sort of kind of summaries a little bit, but the point is, I think more that the policies in which the government is engaged in is not future forward in the sense of trying to create a situation in which a person can have many kids with a good outlook on the future, like you're saying, right? So it's that.
Yeah, but that's not. But that's also like that's like just again. It's at the end of the day. It's like what are the decisions we're making, and it's chasing profits, allowing companies to, rent seek on literally everything, destroying our economy for the AI bubble to burst. It's just one of those where like, I hate to say it again, but it's capitalism. Like,
well, like okay, so for example,
profit.
Hold on. So for example, this guy, so Huthran, so he was saying, I honestly wouldn't. Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. So he was like, I honestly wouldn't mind for a push for every household to have children if we had a cap on them. See, I wouldn't necessarily say a cap on them, but what I would say, because I wouldn't want to do that.
It's either only child or it's like 4.
But
I don't know if I'd say that.
Well, what
you
I was
live in
say,
you live in a what's it called? In a single child household.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, it was 2. I have a brother.
There's 2? No, I said child.
Oh, right now.
You have more than one child?
Oh, I thought you meant me and my brother.
No, I mean you and your son.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So
your brother is a goddamn adult.
Yeah, no, he is. So here's the thing. I would say this. I would agree. Shut up. I would agree with the idea of like promoting promoting a family by like giving them tax credits or things like that, which actually did for me happen. Like my my first kid happened, like I had such a huge tax increase and like reward because I'd paid my taxes and do all the stuff, and so like that was awesome because it does incentivize you in some ways to have more kids because you will have more money. The problem is that inflation is obviously larger than any of the tax credits that I would have that I got. You know what I mean? And also that I don't know if necessarily having a cap would be the thing, but maybe like diminishing returns. Well, just like diminishing returns. Like you don't get as much back the more kids you have. Like, I mean, maybe you get the same amount for 3 kids, and then after that you get a little bit less over time. You know what I mean? Because we don't want people to just be having 8 kids if they can't support them. But at the same time, you do want people to have more kids. You know what I mean? You want to have a conductive family. Sort of kind of.
If we have one, I don't think we should promote that many times you can afford. I mean, okay. So Huthrin responded. He said, "Don't get me wrong. I didn't mean I am for this as you won't ever see me have a child because fuck the constant whining and sleepless nights."
Oh, so you're tripping. I'll be honest. As a guy,
I meant more so if we were to have one. Oh, let me finish. I don't think we should promote without the E. Have as many children as you can afford. No period again.
Okay, real quick. I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't like this take because as my son is now 2 years old, and like last night, I had basically one of the worst nights that I basically have had since he's been born, because I was telling Josh before we got on the air, he busted his lip. He like accidentally grabbed like a pot from outside from the garden, from the backyard, and it busted his lip all fucking open. And we were scared as shit. And we thought his fucking tooth was gonna fall out. We didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen. And like it's that whole whining stage and all that bullshit. Like, I don't know. That's just sort of kind of, I'll be honest with you, bitch made. I love you, man. Don't leave. I do love you. But like it does feel good having a kid, and like having
remember to subscribe, folks. Follow and subscribe.
Yeah, make sure to watch and subscribe. I love you. I'm sorry, that was a little bit rude. But like having a kid is a great thing. It really is. So like I do think that the government.
Cody, what do you think? I've heard before. There's another theory I've heard before from folks where it's mostly that like people don't want to have kids because they're just like, and I think Lutheran is kind of maybe emblematic a little bit of that, but like who are just like, I don't really want to do all the bullshit. I kind of just am like, there's like so much more to like. Think about how much more there is to do now than there was like 100 years ago. 100 years ago, people did not travel the world. They didn't like consume.
No, I understand. There's more to do,
of, like, media and have experiences and shit.
Whereas I respect that. Man, I respect that.
You can do so much shit without like.
If your decision is just that you just want to enjoy life and you don't want to have the thing like weighing you down or whatever it is, like that sounds fine to me. I understand. All that shit. Like I understand, but also I do think that it is, as a person who's. I mean, Josh, you know this about me. Coming as a person who's like, dude, I've done a lot of stuff. Like I've lived life. I've done the things. You know what I mean? I've played shows in front of hundreds of people. I've, done a lot of stuff that a lot of people can't say they've done. But like genuinely the most rewarding thing was like, I don't know, being able to like make sure my son was okay when like he busted his face. You know what I mean? Like in the end, and I'm sure that's just the beginning. Like once he starts, I don't know, becoming a person and like envisioning the world in his own image, you know what I mean? I think I'll be even more proud, and feel that even more. But that's just the thing that comes with time. But already I think I'm, whatever. But like, and by the way, this whole thing,
it's going to be the worst.
Well, this whole thing,
boys are the absolute fucking worst.
Well, he's already a crazy little, and TAFs are the worst of the worst. And the autism and ADHD, like, dude, I mean, that's not like a barrier. Like, do you think that, okay, Josh grew up with me. He knows I'm crazy. I'm a weird guy. I do some weird things, man. I'm like ADHD as fuck. But like at the end of the day, like that doesn't stop you from being a loving person and like, whatever. But I mean, just do what you want to do, bro. I mean, I'm not here to preach and tell you what you should do as a person. I don't give a fuck what you do as a person. If you're fulfilled and happy just like doing whatever you want to do, like that doesn't bother. You know what I mean? Like I don't give a shit. But I do think that like economically as a country or whatever, like we should incentivize people and make it easier for people to, if they want to and wish to have kids, like we should make it easy for them to, you know what I mean? By having, affordable childcare, better wages for mothers and stuff like that. Like there's ways that we can address it that is not just, you know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, government run childcare. That's another one.
See, I don't know
why we don't. I don't know why we do like.
I agree with that one actually.
Fucking elementary school.
I agree with that one as long as there's very.
I don't know why we
regulation.
don't do the beginning and we don't do the end. I don't know why there's like we will only do like.
We barely even do the beginning.
Kindergarten through 12th grade, but then not do college, but then also not do pre-K.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
That makes no sense to me.
I agree with
I
agree with publicly run. What's it called? Colleges as well. You know what I mean? Like I think that they should just be free college and all that kind of stuff. Like education in general.
You should just go get an education for whatever the fuck you want.
So anyway,
because the nation will benefit from you educating yourself.
yeah, 100%.
The Republicans don't want that, so I don't know. Is Tucker Carlson in favor of free college, universal?
I think he probably would be, but I can't speak for him. I think he probably would be because I've heard him argue for taxing the rich and different things like that. So you know what I mean?
Preschool is the biggest financial hit, really. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, for real,
I've
it
heard
really
some of
is.
those prices. It's like $25K a year. You're like, what?
Yeah. I'm already starting to look at it, and you're just like, what the? Because I'm trying to think about putting him in early learning just to like get him a little bit ahead of the curve, and like.
I'll turn my AC on. I'll be back.
Yeah, do your thing. But like, dude, doing the like trying to be ahead of the curve and just like get him a little bit of whatever. It's like, dude, it's fucking horrible. It's it's fucking bad. But okay. So we're gonna jump through some of these real quick. We're gonna what's it called? Oh, make Josh homeschool your children for half the price.
Okay.
I would trust him
next
to.
is wise.
I would trust him to, and then he'd come home, and then I would be like, everything he said is wrong, and then I would have a debate with Josh in front of my kid.
Yeah, I'd make sure. I'd make sure your kids would debate lord you into submission.
That's fine. All right, so let's just jump through.
They'd be like, but what about the road? They'd be like, but what about the roads?
Oh,
How
dude.
do we decide the roads?
I agree. I would love to have that conversation. But so okay, let's just jump through these real quick and just list a couple of them and just run through them because I really want to get to though this because I really want to get to the Dre dossier thing. We'll jump to it.
Okay,
so, okay.
Let's do like 1 minute, like 60 seconds.
Okay.
I'll put a timer on.
Okay.
I'll put a timer on so I don't go over 60.
We got through honest, or we just did healthy.
We left off. No, we got through optimistic, so we can go straight to 8.
Oh, wise. Okay. So
okay.
Wise. Schools should teach how physical world actually works and what he called unchanging facts about human nature, including innate differences between men and women, rather than credential screens and technological fads. So,
all right, here it is. 60 seconds. I'm just gonna do my real quick. This is another culture war dumb fuck talking point that doesn't actually mean anything. At the end of the day, like, facts do change. That's kind of how the world works. We learn more things. We understand more things. Just because, like, Tucker Carlson or whoever's worldview doesn't, like, coincide with that, doesn't mean that our citizens should be dumber for the sake of their comfort. Innate difference between men and women, we all know that's just, I don't like trans people or something. Rather than credentials, screens, and technological fads, I don't know if is he arguing for non-credentialed staff? In terms of screens, the only reason why there's a bunch of screens in schools is because a bunch of companies want to make money by selling the technology to the school boards, and school boards sometimes take money for their elections to those school boards, and that's technological fads. 1 minute, done.
All right, you want to time me?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. So basically, I would agree with the first sentence, except for the human nature part. Like, I do think, for example, like, we should talk a lot more about how to actually do your taxes and be financially literate and be economically and also politically literate. So, like, we had a government class, but it didn't really actually teach us how the government actually worked. So maybe we could teach a little bit more about stuff like that. As far as the whole human nature, whatever, like, difference between men and women, I think that's I don't agree with any of that stuff. That's why I'll end it at that, to be honest with you.
All right, good.
What's it called? The next one, decent.
What's it called? Hultgren said your kid is going to know more about League of Legends matchups than ABCs. Let's be clear. I don't play those fucking. What are those MOBAs? I don't even fucking strategy games. I don't play that shit.
It's so funny because they misjudged me for you. I'm the guy who's.
I play fucking Call of Duty.
I'm the one who will give them the fucking Dota fucking stuff and the fucking. That's so funny that they thought you were the Dota and LOL guy. While I am literally. You guys can't see it, but my massive desktop mat that I have is literally a Smite desktop, like, championship map.
Fucking virgin phrenology.
That's so funny.
Right.
This is just assassination of character at this point. Anyway, okay, decent. The U.S. should apologize for and pay restitution for killing non-combatants, reverse Trump's Department of War rebrand, and stop funding allies that commit what Carlson called genocide, citing Israel.
All right. Let's see. Should apologize and pay restitution for killing non-combatants. Yeah, that's totally fine with me. Reverse. Yeah, I have no disagreements. I guess my only question is, who else are we paying? While we're paying reparations to, like, these non-combatants, is there any interest on Tucker Carlson's side for, I don't know, reparations for the 400 years of slavery in this country? My guess is probably not. But I mean, that would I'm okay with, I guess, 9. 9's the only one that I don't outright disagree with. I maybe would add more things that we should probably seek some better angels on, but otherwise I guess it is what it is.
So we got Clockwork Orange in here as well. The guy who
Is this the
Yep, that's the guy.
Is this the one that's a Nazi? No, this is
well,
the one that
hold
I never
on.
remember.
National Socialist, not a Nazi.
It sounds like he's probably a Nazi.
Hey, how you doing, bro? But okay, we're going through the 10 points of Tucker Carlson plan.
Jesus. You were pretty spicy last time, so
he's a lot more like me than you think. But anyway, okay. So okay, I agree.
Right.
Give me my 60 seconds. Yeah, give me my 60 seconds.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. The previous episode to him talking about this was him with Daryl Cooper, who's one of the best historians, I think, living. And what's it called? He talked about basically giving reparations immediately to Iran for bombing the girls' school, and for everything else we've done as far as all that kind of stuff.
I mean, we're about to anyway.
Well, I mean,
extract reparations.
I agree. But
anyway, no, I'm gonna shut up.
But the point is basically just that, like, yeah, I would agree with his entire point here.
20-second warning.
Just as a country in the world, we need to rebuild our image, and part of that is by apologizing and using restitution to do that, by all that kind of stuff. So, you know what I mean? That's just, yeah. And yeah, we did see the Africa shit, dude. But just don't worry about that right now. We're trying to get through this part.
Shit?
Oh, man, don't even. We're not gonna get derailed right now.
Oh, great. I don't want to know right now.
It's late. It's great. It's great. It's great. But okay, last one.
Tired grandpa. All right, last one.
United. Carlson called for halting immigration until the effects of AI become clearer, ending benefits for undocumented immigrants, and making English the sole language of the federal documents and ballots. You have 60 seconds, sir.
Okay. Halting immigration. Pourquoi? Just because brown people bad, I guess? I don't know. This country was built on immigration. This country is built on the melting pot concept. I like having my Mexican restaurant down the, like, 2 doors down from my Mexican joint. That's like 3 doors down from my Greek place. I don't know about you, but that's fucking America to me. Until the effects of AI, which I also don't know what AI has to do with, I don't know how these two things are connected. All the AI stuff is just capitalist financial trickery. Ending benefits for undocumented immigrants. Okay, what benefits? And so they come here and what? They just, like, flood our streets? Is that really a better solution? And making English the sole language of federal documents and ballots. Why wouldn't we just put them in all possible languages? I don't know how our lives are changed by English being the only language on our documents. That's just stupid bullshit. But okay, yeah. Number 10, dumb bullshit, and some of it is just weird xenophobia.
Okay. Well, so, all right, you can give me my 60 seconds.
And begin.
Okay, so I actually sort of kind of understand the immigration issue. I don't necessarily think that we should. I do sort of kind of agree in halting immigration in the sense that I do think that we should view the effects of the AI depletion of jobs and then the increase of just population as a thing that we have to view, and sort of kind of figure out, you know, whether that's going to work out or not. Like how many jobs are really going to be there when this is all over with. So I get that part of it. But
Do you think, I'll ask you a follow-up when you're done.
Well, so I don't necessarily agree with the whole, because I think the really issue is appointing judges and creating an actual system of immigration that works. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But as far as making the English the sole language, I don't necessarily think that that's just American voiced, in my opinion. I do think that. Okay. Well, I do think that you should still.
You can finish your sentence.
I do still think that you should be able to speak English and stuff like that in some ways. I don't think it should be like a fucking requirement, but like read English on the roads, different stuff like that, just as a continuance of government to be able to have some kind of coherence. That makes sense, but I don't necessarily think that it's like a fucking like cultural thing that we need to adhere to. That's not necessarily my point. It's just more of a cohesion of government argument than anything else. So but what's your follow up real quick?
Well, I was going to ask, like, if you think the AI bubble is going to pop, or do you think it's going to like, because I don't think this is going to sustain itself. But when it pops, it means it's gonna like wipe out a ton of the economy. But it's not like jobs are gonna disappear. Jobs are gonna come flooding back. The problem is that like wages are gonna suck ass because
everyone, it definitely is gonna pop. Like it definitely will pop. Like it definitely will pop. I mean, that's just because
the way he wrote this, it's like AI is gonna be here forever. And I just if that's the way you think about it, I don't necessarily think that that's what it is, but I do think that like that. I'll let you respond to the chat here in just a second, guys. We're just trying to sort of kind of get through this a little bit, but like the problem with AI isn't the technology in and of itself is just a tool that can be used for good or bad. It doesn't necessarily have any, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's, I think it's the printing press. I think it's revolutionary, whatever, but does that mean I think it's any better than fucking Google? Not all that much. You know what I mean? Other than being able to, I use AI a lot to build like random different little apps for myself to be able to help me understand stuff. You know what I mean? Which I think is very helpful. But do I think that it's like the future of everything? Like, no, you know what I mean? But it will be able to at some point replace a lot of jobs. And I do think we have to figure out a way to address that in a way that's like realistic. But like, I don't know, the amount of profit and inflation that we're wasting on the actual AI market is just fucking crazy. Like, you know, we're wasting our entire economy. Every sector of the economy is going down except for fucking AI. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean it's like the cornerstone of our economy now.
The entire, and it's based on and it's based on just well, it's not even only speculation. It's based on manipulation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is even worse. So the issue ends up becoming that it's just like, what are we doing here? You know, it's like I can say whatever about AI and what it's going to do to our economy or whatever. Like it doesn't, like if in a functioning system, we could have that argument or whatever. But really it's that we're putting all our chips into this thing and manipulating the system in which we're forcing this to happen versus it just being a thing that possibly could change the market. You know what I mean? So that's sort of kind of what I think about that aspect of it. But I mean, do I think that AI in and of itself will change the job market and stuff? Maybe a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I
mean, it's changing it now.
Yeah, like it's gonna change it.
It's coming up in the ways where it's like, oh yeah, we like, I was talking to this waitress, at this restaurant we went to, and it was like they just had tablets up at the cash register area, and like they had 2 tablets, and that was like it, right? And they were pretty big tablets, but they were like the big ones. But 2 screens, you just pick whatever you want, you pay on the little digital thing. And I was talking to the waitress there, and she's like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, so like we don't have people at the registers, so it's literally just me out here bussing the entire restaurant by myself. I don't have to take orders, but like now I have to do literally everything else, and it's just me. I don't have no, like the bartender's there, and that's it. And it's 2 people in the entire floor for this entire restaurant.
Yeah.
And the only reason why they're doing that is because they're automating a lot of these systems, and like that kind of like drive towards automation. The only reason it's happening, it's not because it's like better for the customer. It's not because it's a better experience, and not because it's more, I mean, yeah, it's more efficient, but it's more efficient in the sense of you don't have to employ as many people. But if you don't employ as many people, you're growing your profits. But what's happening? People aren't making money. They're not paying taxes. We're not like funding the programs that we need. Like all the wealth is being extracted up only into the like richest among us. So
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what we're seeing. That's what's going to end up happening, because all these fucking like AI billionaires, when this bubble pops, they're gonna go from multi-billionaires to like single billionaires, but they'll be fine. But all the rest of us will go from like from fucking 50,000 a year workers to like 25. But none of the prices are going to change, because at the end of the day they're going to say like, oh well, now all of these goods are even more scarce, so prices can't go down, they have to go up, because supply and demand, because the government's not going to come in and go, no, you're going to give people food or housing or whatever, unless we have a more at least my politics leaning government, then we're kind of fucking cooked, along with climate change fucking up a lot of other things. So
fair enough. Well, now we're basically through all of it. So let's see here. So okay. Well, let's go ahead and respond to some of this. But I think honestly,
that's what she said.
I promise he's more on your side than you think. But okay. So from Huthran, the real issue
By the way,
is,
Clockwork, I am pro DSA. I am a card carrying member. I just don't have it with me right now.
But okay, so real quick, I actually think this part is exactly what I was talking about with the immigration stuff, as far as we were getting through that.
Mm-hmm.
He says the real issues with immigration is our system is outdated and designed to be anti-immigrant, that can take 10 full years to get your legal documents, even if you've been obeying the laws and all that kind of stuff, which is exactly what I was hinting at, which is the system itself is rotten. Like, we can have a functioning immigration system that is actually beneficial to our society, if you just start actually figuring out a way to make judges and lawyers and get those things figured out. You know what I mean? Like that is genuinely possible. Like we can have the immigration system that we had in the 80s and 90s, where it was basically what they would call an open border, but it was really just, there was a functioning system. You know what I mean? It was just a functioning system. That's all it was. So I agree with that a lot. I guess you can go ahead and respond to the Clockwork Orange stuff as far as the DSA and all that kind of stuff.
Hate AI, good take. To such don't have a work schedule anymore. I work 5 different times in my work week. 4 a.m. to 7. Jeez. Let's see. What do we got? Overall. Yeah, see, he agrees. Yeah, you work here, you pay taxes. Come on in. Yeah. Clockwork, I don't know why you agree with me, except on like the labeling, but that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Like, if you want to,
but I feel like that's
die on the hill of like,
no, but I feel like
don't you dare call yourself a democratic socialist. I might be in favor of 90% of your policies, but don't you dare. Don't you dare.
But a lot of it is that, like, I feel like people they do agree on a lot of this stuff. They just label, like, they
get real sketchy about labels.
But like everybody does. That's the thing. Everybody labels themselves something and then has some kind of opinion about a label that somebody else uses for themselves. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? So
he calls himself a full socialist.
Well,
I like, this is also one of those things where I just don't really, like, I don't care too much on what's it called? I'm not that big on, like, worrying about the labels of certain things. People can, it's like all the Zoran stuff. Like, you can, endorsed by DSA, identifies as a democratic socialist. That's all well and good. But at the end of the day, it's policies that I care about. If he identified as a democratic socialist and was, like, not in favor of, fast and free buses, universal child care, then I wouldn't be that interested in him. But, like, with anything in politics, it's not, I approach it as, like, it's not about whatever label you want to put on it, and necessarily about any, I really try hard not to treat ideology as what's the word for, like, religious texts? Help me out, Cody.
Theocracy?
Theology?
Theology?
No, I guess maybe theology. Fuck, I'm trying to remember. Maybe, yeah. My point being with all of that is, like, the way that I approach, at least, like, politics and political, like, language and specifics is, like, I want the best outcomes for folks. So it's kind of like one of those words, like, if you identify as this and maybe it veers as, like, one thing, but the things you're doing veers into another thing, I don't really care. I just want good outcomes. I want good outcomes. I don't give a flying shit about the necessary label. I just think when I observe it, socialism tends to be has the understanding of, like, and right critiques of capitalism, which I think fundamentally I am an anti-capitalist. If there's one thing I am by label, it's anti-capitalist. So
no, I get it.
That's just kind of.
I mean, I
dog
don't.
Buff.
Thank
you, dog.
I don't view myself that way. You know that. I don't know if I'd call myself a capitalist, but whatever. But okay, so
I don't get it. What's insane about DSA? I'm like curious. I want to hear what Glockworks thing is. Personally, I just hate labels as a whole, because you get to the point where you just start judging someone over what party. Yeah. It's unnuanced. Like, it's good shorthand.
It's back. Like, sorry.
Good shorthand. Yeah, go ahead. It's good shorthand. Like, obviously we need a way to identify ourselves, like, immediately, to, like, communicate our values and our goals and stuff. But like, nuance and where you land in certain places is more important, and, like, actually fleshing that sort of stuff out. But I don't know how you could possibly. I don't know what DSA shit is. I mean, again, every state in most cities has their own chapter. So, well, all the chapters are a little bit different. There's national, but, like, the anti-private property, government should be allowed to take control, re-education, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think any of that is true. Anti-private property, yes, to some degree. I think, like, most DSA members would say that the abolition of private property is, like, a end goal, but, like, if you ask me, we are bare minimum 100 to 150 years until we're to a point where that's feasible. So I wouldn't really say I wouldn't say that's, like, a thing you need to worry about in the short term, or even really something that couldn't evolve over the next, like, 100 years. Government should be allowed to take control. I mean, doesn't really mean very. Also, you have 2 L's in control. But I also don't really know what that means, because government takes control of things all the time. It's just not 100% sure. And I don't know what you mean by re-education. Unless you mean, like, funding the education department, in which case, yeah, I would like to fund the education department in the United States. I think having an educated populace is how you have an informed populace, and they can make better decisions. It's the food that feeds democracy, I think. But do you think police should be abolished? I think the way that we do policing in the United States needs to change. I don't think there's like a world where we don't have, um, dude in a ostensibly blue outfit who, enforces the laws of like murder, rape, theft, that sort of thing. But and like people, like policing is a little bit more of a personal issue for me. My dad is a cop, or well, was a cop. But he was a chief of police in the city that he was chief of police in. That we didn't live in the city, we lived like just outside of it. Um, but he was chief of police, and something that if you talk to cops about a lot about like what their job has turned into, it's the like solver of every possible problem, which I don't think is A, fair, or B, efficient. I think, like, if you ask me what my vision for policing would be, it would be more of policing as a role of like public safety, like investigatory. So, like, I'm thinking like detectives, things of that nature for like, you know, again, I'm thinking like murder or stuff like that. But when we're talking about like, when we're talking about people who have, when we're talking about like, oh, the kids down the street are being loud, I don't really think we need guys with like firearms to go and knock on like the high schooler's door a couple houses down that are having a house party that they probably shouldn't be having, and like roll in with guns and everything. I don't think we need that. I think that we can create a department that like does that, but without the ability to shoot someone or tase someone or like brutalize anybody. There's no reason why we can't have a more like community enforcement um department for that sort of thing. So like, it's not a like, I don't have the I haven't written out, I don't have the pure answer, but I just think like what police do, we need to split up some of those roles. Like if someone like, I'm sure people have heard it before. It's like if someone's having like a mental health crisis, if they're like, if they have like are having a mental health episode or they're suicidal or something like that, I don't think cops with guns need to show up for that. I think like a social worker or like a community whatever the fuck can show up and do that sort of thing. It's like what's like, you show up as a police officer to like, someone having like, having like a suicide problem as an example or something like that, or they want to like jump off a roof. What the fuck is the cop gonna do? He has a gun. Like he's gonna look at you and go like, I don't know, man, I can shorten the trip for you, but like it's kind of all I can do. And like cops do get training on de-escalating that stuff, but that's like not what most cops are getting into the service for. They're not trying to be like, oh, let me talk someone down off a ledge. There are those that are really good at that. I'm not saying that they're not, but like, I think that sort of thing, you want someone who's probably more on the therapy side or more on like the social, sociology side, or
Well,
on
you
the
know
whatever,
what?
the psychology side, whatever the fuck. But someone who's
Wouldn't the
more in
best
that field.
wouldn't the best option then to like sort of kind of have a police force that's just more um I don't know the word, maybe decentralized isn't the word, but like you would have your sectors of the police force, that one section is more for mental health issues, one section is more for whatever, like just reforming
Yeah,
of the
it
system.
would, yeah.
You
It
know what
would
I
be
mean?
the same
It's
way
not
you
that
have
you're
homicide, you
defunding
have
or whatever.
narcotics.
It's a refunctioning and reforming of the basis of the system, of like what the actual purpose of these services are. You know what I'm saying? Like over time, all systems get refabricated and reformed, and we could have just a better system of police intervention than we currently have, obviously, right? Like that's
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like we have a homicide department, we have narcotics departments, we have investigation departments, we have all of these departments within the police force that deal with different, very like specialized situations. There's no reason why we can't have a less militarized department that does more of the low level, like, again, like like probably my best example that I can think of off the top of my head is like the teenagers down the street are having a house party. I think they might be drinking and they're under 21. Like, do the cops need to show up with fucking Glocks? No, not like they don't. And there's no reason why they should. They should be showing up and going like, don't make me right. Do not do, like, the only thing they need to do is show up with a notepad and go, guys, don't like, you and I both know what you're doing. Chill it out. You know, kind of like, because
But at the end of the day, I will
for us
say
when
that
we were in your neighborhood,
but
when
I
they
do,
would come up to us and be like, just quiet down. We don't want to get these, like, just chill out.
No, I know, but
like, turn it down a little bit.
Things would
And that's
happen a
all they
little
need to
bit
do.
differently, though. For example, in like, you know, Hagel Circle, you know what I mean, or on Route 1.
Yeah, but the reason why things happen differently at Hagel Circle, that's because those areas are policed differently.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, both places are policed the same, in the sense of like both of them have cops who show up with guns. The difference is that the cops who show up with guns in your neighborhood are they're not going to use them, but they will show up in the other neighborhood and they will use that shit if they feel in danger.
I get
and
it.
what I'm saying is, like, that really shouldn't be an option that shouldn't only be an option.
No, I agree. It's the power
for
to
people.
abuse versus the abuse of power itself.
I guess a little bit. It's
Because at the end of the day, it's the ability for them to abuse their power of you know what I mean, them having a gun coming in without any, you know, whatever. It's their ability to abuse power that is the issue.
No,
you know what I mean?
Changing. What am I changing it to?
Oh wait. What?
Clockwork. I feel like you're incredibly uncharitable, and I don't really appreciate it. Cops ain't coming right. Yeah, like, I'm sorry.
I do agree. Hey, Hawthorne, real quick. I keep feeling like I'm saying your name wrong. Hawthorne? I understand, like, all you really need is a taser. All I'm saying is, and I do think 9 times out of 10 that's the most you'll ever need. You know what I mean? But that, I do think that cops should be armed. I don't
think certain levels of cops should be armed. But if you're a cop, you have to also understand, if you have a taser and a gun on your hip, both of them are reachable. If somebody is threatening you, you are taught as an officer to put their ass down, because what's the term? It's better to be judged by 12 than carried out by 6.
I understand that, which is a problem with the culture of it. That's the problem with the culture. So like, I would agree with all the.
But it's not the culture.
Point.
It's the training. It's the training. Like, we train all officers to protect their lives because that's what they need to do. So we need to have a force that can't be their immediate reaction is to kill someone. Like, that has to not be if you send like a social worker in, they're not going to be thinking of shooting somebody. Their like primary weapon is de-escalation and all the rest of the stuff that comes with that kind of training. But like, that's the goal, is to turn nonviolent interactions and small time things into like, let's just send somebody who can kind of deal with this, or send some unarmed cops. Cause like, fucking Britain has like mostly unarmed police that show up to like daily normal crimes. Like, you need police when there's like shootings.
The difference is that they don't have guns, obviously. Yeah. Right. Like, so I understand. Yeah. I understand. So,
and they have a lower crime rate than us.
No, I understand that. And that's also a whole other issue of like, there's an economic issue where we're sometimes worse off and people have just so I understand all that. But all I'm saying is that I would agree with you that, for example, we should send in, for example, a social worker and a police officer, maybe. You know what I mean?
Would you like to supply a rebuttal to guns? It doesn't matter. Lower crime rate, lower crime rate, bud. I didn't stutter.
No, they do have a lower crime rate. I mean,
Also, brother, you can't have as many knife killings as you can gun shootings. I don't know if you know that. Guns are a lot more effective at killing people.
Yeah. Well, That doesn't mean I don't personally. I am a Second Amendment guy. I do think you should be able to own guns. So that's another thing.
Why would UK cops use
But-
guns? Why would UK cops use? Oh, okay.
No. Anyway, okay. So real quick, before I feel like we've exhausted.
He's
this.
calling. He's calling on the mods. He's calling on the mods, Cody. You need to ban me.
I already.
or something. I don't know.
No. One of his things got accidentally blocked, and it wasn't. It was the one that said you're pro
What was
DSA or whatever,
The government
but
should be allowed
it's
to take
not.
control. Okay. Also, anti-private property is one of the worst things you can do, at least when it comes to land ownership, because while I agree no one should own like 20 acres of land and not use it, at least in Germany, government-owned land was used, kicked thousands of people off their homes because this land is better. Yeah, that's the that's new.
Well, okay.
Also, probably
So-
don't use it for coal mines. That would also be my argument.
Well. So okay.
What if
Real
just
quick.
nobody owned land and we just like gave you free housing, gave everyone free housing?
So,
Wouldn't that be a world? If we all didn't have to worry about housing.
Yeah, it would be perfect, wouldn't it? Okay. Well, let's
Well, when climate change comes, you can tell me how much better that looks than all of us scrounging to never be able to buy a home.
I get it. No, I understand. Well, okay.
We live in the time where nobody gets anything.
I just hit my vape. Chill out.
Pro DSA
So, okay.
attack you using things Dem agreed to. Clockwork, I don't understand you. Let's see. Platform calls for a phased dismantling and ultimate abolition of the police and prison system. Okay. Viewing the carceral state as the structural pillar of racial. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I would agree with that. I mean, the prison system's literally been built to jail minorities, specifically black people in this country. And people make profit off of it. Seems, I'd say, like, the prison system needs like deep reform. And frankly, another thing that like people shouldn't be able to make money off of. You should not be able to profit off of the jailing of other humans. Maybe I'm crazy, but like I give up. You've barely tried.
Okay. Well, real quick. So I did want to show you this. So this is a person who I actually really like, and I actually do like her views a little bit on this. And I have these same concerns. Let's just put it this way. I like the idea of his party in some ways, his third party. If it is at its face, if giving its most charitable interpretation, I do like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, with obviously my issues that I've voiced.
One of these days we should pull Glockwork into the call.
Oh, dude, I'd love
so
it.
I don't have to.
It would be fun. I'm sure he'd be down. Me and him have talked on channel all the time.
His son shock his dog.
Give me 1 second, okay?
I shocked his dog.
I'm gonna go ahead and start playing this. I just want you guys to check this out for a second.
All right, what do we
people
got?
against the
What is
questions.
this?
Okay, starting with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's the one who posted the photo and the one who wrote that this is the movement that has
Oh my
begun.
God.
Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene
Marjorie Taylor Greene
is,
jump scare.
how do we say, her time in Washington was a war from the start,
Complicated.
all the way to the finish. I mean, she came in swinging and she left bleeding. And the story of what happened in between those moments is exactly why she's sitting at that table in Maine this last weekend.
I don't know what
She
that
arrives
means,
in 2020
Glockwork.
out of Northwest Georgia, 75% of her district backing her, by the way. And she's the most loyal Trump ally in the building. Like, that is her professional title. She is one of the most loyal Trump allies that existed in Congress at the time. And within exactly 1 month in Washington, the House takes her committees away. Just cuts them from her. Now, committees are where the work of Congress actually happens. It's where the bills get written and the committee hearings get held. And Marjorie Taylor Greene's were budget, education, and labor, which are 3 things that touch literally everybody in her district. Now, they took them away over what she had promoted before she was even elected. Suggestions over school shootings being staged and that a wildfire may have been started by space lasers, and was
Me
liking
too, I
posts
know
about
what-
executing
I
the
don't
same
know what- I
Democrat
don't-
leaders
I
that she was now
don't
sharing a
know
building
what
with.
that
And so,
means.
they found it appropriate
Oh,
to
wait.
take those committees away from her.
No, I
Now,
don't
this
know
is a
what that
very
means.
important moment in history because that had never happened before. Like,
My
this is the first time in
online
history
eyes-
of the House that the majority stripped a member of the other party
Just
of their
the-
committees. And what she did that day
it's,
tells
you
you
know,
everything
etc.
about
is
what she was about to
ETC,
build
right?
within
Not
Washington. She stood
ECP?
on the House floor and explained 10 toes down that
someone who
she,
claims to
quote,
know
was
a lot,
allowed
you
to
sure
believe
can't
things that
spell.
weren't true.
The problem with that is, though, is I was allowed to believe things that weren't true.
Allowed? Like what? Somebody gave her permission? Two, I mean, even regret had someone else's name on it. And before the vote was final, she was fundraising off the punishment. That is her whole spin. Now think about what that does, because Congress has created a member who has no committees, and there's little left to do with the job except talk to the camera. And attention isn't always useless. In fact, her campaign for the Epstein files came with a vote, and it worked, and she brought a lot of attention to the Epstein files, despite Donald Trump not wanting her to and getting very mad at her for it. And she met with the survivors, and she threatened to name names on the House floor, and she says that when Trump called her personally to stop her, people have already gotten hurt. And so for that, I will say that I appreciate what she did for those women. I do, truly. That was the kind of conviction that was attached to action, and that is exactly what I'm looking for in a representative. But compare that to the footage of her chasing down Parkland survivor David Hogg down a sidewalk, demanding that a teenager who survived a school shooting that killed 17 students debate her.
David, why are you supporting the red flag laws? If Scott Peterson, the resource officer at Parkland, had done his job, then Nicholas Cruz wouldn't have killed anybody in your high school, or at least protected them.
Why are you supporting red flag gun laws that attack our Second Amendment rights? And why are you using kids as a barrier? Do you not know how to defend your stance? Look, I'm an American citizen. I'm a gun owner. I have a concealed carry permit. I carry a gun for protection for myself, and you are using your lobby and the money behind it and the kids to try to take away my Second Amendment rights.
There was no vote attached to that. There was no policy, no demand, no ending except the clip. And that's kind of the space Marjorie Taylor Greene put herself in. She got to eventually. The attention was the point. And last November, Dana Bash confronted her on CNN, saying that she had tolerated Trump's violent language until it turned on her. And Greene answered that I think that that's a fair criticism, and she took accountability and said, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. And hey, I'll give it to her. That was a way better apology than I was allowed to believe. I mean, she climbed out of the passive voice and she took ownership. And I think it's a great thing to show remorse and to apologize. But there's also a lack of specificity to a lot of these, apologies. Sorry to whom? And look, I know that people can change. I've seen it happen before with my own 2 eyes. I've watched it happen in my family my entire life. My parents are still changing. They still surprise me every day. And one of the defining moments, I feel like, of my whole political outlook is about exactly that kind of change. I remember being a kid on election night in 2008. So it doesn't matter how old I was a kid. It was election night and I was already in bed, half asleep, and my mom came into my room. And I remember her kind of like tucking me in a little bit, and she kind of sat there on the edge of my bed. It was like a sullen kind of sigh that she let out, and she said, well, the Dems got it again. She's like, it's a real shame. This country's really going downhill. And I grew up in a conservative family, a conservative life. I grew up in the Delta, Mississippi. It doesn't get much more conservative than the place where
Mississippi.
Cotton farming was originated.
I'm surprised she doesn't have more of an accent.
The Dems got it. Like, as if I knew what any of that meant. I was little though, so her weather was my weather.
Oh no, the Democrats won. Now we're gonna get.
For the next 4 years, Obama got it. And fast forward to the next election night, 4 years later, and my mom comes into my room, same thing, kind of tucks me in. Except this time, she's a bit lit up. She's a bit excited, and she whispers, "He did it. Barack Obama, he did it. He won." And I was confused, right? And so I remember asking, like, wait, but the last time, didn't you not want him to win? And she'd said, you know what? I didn't. I didn't want him to win, but I'm glad that he did. And looking back, I wish I could have voted for him the first time. I mean, who says that? That's incredible. I mean, I think about that all the time. Nobody was filming her. Nothing was for sale. She didn't have to package it into some kind of release. That was just a conviction that she had. And my politics change and evolve, and they continue to change and evolve, as I'm sure yours do. But the difference between us and what we're looking at in that picture is we're not running for office, So like the bar is different for different people who are requesting different jobs. If someone wants the key to the country, that's a different resume you have to submit. Now back to MTG. Trump threatened a primary after she broke with him, and she chose to resign rather than face her voters. I mean, personally, the people who believe what they're doing, I don't think should be afraid to face the people who paid to get them there. Your voters are the people who funded you. Face them. And like clockwork, by summer, the television appearances came, and a personality series was announced to be launching at some point this fall. And this picture from the candlelit table in Maine, and it's just all a little too convenient, right? I mean, how much remorse can you really have if you don't take any time to reflect on what you did? Oh, not to mention that in her media blitz, Greene admitted that she voted for a bill that she didn't even read. Trump's 1,000-page big beautiful bill. Yeah, she signed it not knowing that it contained a 10-year ban on state AI regulation. That goes against states' rights, which was something that she campaigned on. And later she wrote that she would have voted no had she read page 278 and 279.
You say, in full transparency, you didn't know that this was in there, and now you're shining a light on it. How did you not know that it was in there, and how'd you find out about it?
Well, we don't get the full bill text until very close to the time to vote for it. And so that was one section, that was 2 pages that I didn't see.
I didn't read it is not a defense when your whole job is reading bills. Like, what? If you're not going to be in the room to write them, you might as well be in the room to read them. My audience and I read the Big Beautiful Bill every Tuesday. At the beginning of the lives, we go through a section of the Big Beautiful Bill. Because apparently, our congressional members don't always read them. And I think it's important that we know what's going to be taking place now. Like, the dominoes are falling. A lot of this stuff is taking effect this year. It's a year since that bill was written. So by that merit, everything else is null to me. You didn't do your job. you're not getting another chance to do your job. I'm sorry, the stakes are too high. You're anti-surveillance until it comes to reading a bill, apparently. Listen, you can make mistakes, but you can also recognize that different mistakes have different costs. When we ask what this costs Marjorie Taylor Greene, it costs basically nothing. She didn't have to lose another election, and now she's going to roll up into Tucker Carlson, which we'll get to him in a minute, his whole spiel, and be a part of this new movement when what? This costs us everything. We the people, it costs us everything. And when it comes to following the money, it looks like her fundraising has a broad but small donor base. You know, there was also one $12,000 FEC fine, and it's because $178,000 in book royalties were reportedly omitted from a disclosure from her campaign committee, which converted into a PAC for her brand or something like that.
Wait,
and now
Marjorie
she's making
Taylor Greene
$150
wrote
cameo
fucking
videos.
Hi everyone, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I am excited.
I am so sorry.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
It got to this point.
Why? Oh, leaked gameplay. Hold on. Allegedly, we have leaked gameplay from GTA 6. I feel like this is fake. This looks fake. This camera movement looks fake as fuck. Okay, that camera movement does not look fake as fuck. Interesting, interesting. Damn, dog. They made main girl fucking caked up in this game.
Wait. I'm
Good
Josh.
Lord.
Josh.
Okay.
What happened?
Sorry. What?
What happened?
Oh. Sorry, I was scrolling Twitter.
Oh, of course you were.
Apparently, we have leaked GTA 6 footage.
Oh shit.
Sorry, I got bored because you left.
I'm sorry. My son.
I'm over here. It's not even my channel, and I'm over here. Holding down the fort. And Glockwork won't even throw me a sub, even though I'm the one holding down the fort.
Throw him a sub. Throw him a sub. He's a good guy. I promise. He is a good. He is in good faith, even though he's
open to chat.
Mad.
You're again, DSA. What do you chat? What are you talking about? I'm the literate one between all of you. I use punctuation.
This is rude.
Make concise points.
Josh,
I know how to say etc.
You are aggressive.
It's ET. I am. You know what I'm sick of. You know what I'm sick of this whole thing where like, oh, why is the progressive like? Aren't you guys supposed to be like soft and like understand it? Fuck you. You're wrong. I'm right. I'm big. You're small. I'm smart. You're dumb, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you understood that, then you might be old.
Okay, wait. So did you see?
And Glockwork's an alcoholic. Well done.
So did you see anything about this at all?
I mean, I watched it, but after a point, I was like, "All right, Marjorie Taylor Greene, got it."
Yeah, I mean, I figured she was more in your this channel is more in your zone as far as like she really does have a problem with a lot of these people. I mean, she does have here. I'm gonna go ahead and just flip this back over to this real quick for a second. And she is a horrible woman in a lot of ways. Let me see here. So
I mean, look, the thing. Whoa, what? The thing.
There you go.
Sorry, wait, what? Is this real? Hold on.
Man, I'm out of beer. Sad.
Okay. This is fake. This is dog. Holy shit. Dog, the internet is a fucking mistake, man. Such a mistake.
No, it's not.
This looked real. Man, it fucking sucks. You can't
thing.
trust fucking anything.
It's a great thing.
I'm literally scrolling Twitter and there's a video of like fucking Tom Holland and Zendaya being pregnant and shit. And I was like, whoa, what? I'm not saying I give a shit, but I was like, whoa, seriously? And I go to Google and it's just AI bullshit.
Ain't nobody give a fuck about the internet. About Zendaya and fucking. I don't care about celebrities.
No, but think about it. Like, think about how much shit you can't fucking trust now.
I get
because
that.
It's just like you don't know how much of it is just generated AI bullshit.
Well, wait. So, do you believe in dead internet theory?
Of course I do. It's like evident. It's like so incredibly evident.
Right. Well, yeah.
But it's just like, damn. Like,
don't you think that this is part of it? Is like them making you think about that at all?
No. I mean, people care about this sort of. I'm not like I care, but it's more of like, fuck, man, you can't even trust dumb shit like this. So, like, what do we do with like real news?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Fair.
Like, it's like
that's fair.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, damn, dog, this was convincing for like a glance.
Oh, whatever.
Like, that fucking sucks. Like, fuck. Oh, like, now I don't even know if I can trust this leaked GTA footage. I'm like kind of interested. Like, I'm like, okay, let's see some GTA 6 footage. But now I'm like, is this bullshit? Is this more bullshit?
Well, all right. So
Seems like it.
Can I ask you about some current events? And just see.
You always ask me about current events. What am I looking at?
And then
I just don't know what to believe anymore.
Well, let's talk about some current events real quick, and then we'll hop out of here.
This?
Some geopolitics, in case you don't know what's going on. So today,
can it not be geopolitics? Geopolitics is so boring,
dude. It's important,
and it needs like 8 hours of contextualization.
Well,
hit me with something fun.
Okay,
something easy to understand.
All right, let me see if I can find something. So okay, let's try this.
Damn, 15 minutes of GTA
the MOU expired yesterday. The memorandum
of MOU ever in effect?
The memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran.
Nah, this is fake too, dude. This is bullshit. I hate it.
What are you... So then today, Israel attacked a airfield in Syria that was housing Turkish armaments, which means that basically they attacked a NATO country.
What now? Are you still talking geopolitics? I said something fun. I don't want to hear about fucking geopolitics. It's boring and trite. And the answer's the same. America and capitalism bad. Oh my god.
No, we don't.
Israel
we don't.
A child in Gaza?
We don't.
Fucking shock.
Maybe we will if we get big enough. Well, we don't at the moment. If it makes you feel any better.
What? What the fuck am I looking at now? Dog, Twitter is like... This is an awful... I'm like scrolling. This is an awful app. Who the fuck is you? Okay. I can't imagine, like, if my feed is mostly like wrestling and then whatever the fuck they try to send me, but man, I can't imagine for some of the brain broken gooners that are on fucking Twitter all the time.
I appreciate you, Glockwork.
Oh shit.
Thank you so much.
What is he gonna be like? He's gonna be like, oh, he doesn't care about geopolitics. There you go. Oh no, I don't want a sub, motherfucker. You're supposed to sub to my channel. What is this?
Why are you so aggressive, Josh? What is your problem, dog?
On the internet. Call me Casper the Ghost. The walls. Split profit? No, there's no profit to split.
Oh my god.
Yeah, is it not? Have you fucking read before? I feel like it's pretty phonetic.
Oh god, Josh.
Well, at least there you go, Cody. I got you multiple tier 1 subs. You should thank me.
He just hates subs.
Not even tier 3, right? Just tier 1, fucking prol. Glockwork fucking prol. I won't thank you.
Okay. Oh god, Josh. You're such a good man. I love you so much. You're my favorite person in the world, dude.
I feel like that. What the fuck am I looking at now? Oh god, this is from Obsession, isn't it? Oh,
okay.
Jesus.
Just to be clear, Josh is genuinely. I've heard him make this statement, and this is one of my favorite things I've ever heard him say, which tells you how convicted, how much his conviction is. Okay, he has told me, I'm gonna drag people kicking and screaming to socialism. Okay. And
I will drag you kicking and screaming to a better future. Yes, that's true.
And I appreciate the conviction. As much as I disagree in a lot of ways, I love him very much because he has a real.
I'm still not
genuine...
clear what the disagreement is. Every time I go, see, this is the problem. Everyone goes, I don't know if I agree, and then it's like, okay, I'll list 10 things. Anything you disagree with, and it's usually like, no, not really. And I'm like, okay, so we're good then. It's like, well, I just am not sure. And it's like, all right. We're just, oh shit, are we getting a lean across mod? Hell yeah.
Well, most of mine, mine is about property rights, and it is about regulation and powerful federal government. I don't believe in a powerful federal government.
Do you want more or less regulation?
I want re-regulation, but less.
So you want more than what we have currently?
Different than what we have currently, but probably less still.
What do you mean less still, but different? What are you?
Meaning the regulation should be more against the actual monopolization of certain industries.
Capitalists.
Oh, fucking relax. All right, Josh. But more about the regulation of the monopolization of the
monopolies. But we don't have monopolies. Oh, definition. Sadly.
God damn it, Josh. This is what I'm saying. So the trust busting and the different things that a lot of the great presidents of the past have done to redistribute the wealth of the country, to stop it from being a monopolization of a lot of different things, to, a little bit more of again, you're not going to like this, but a free market system a little bit, because I think the free market system is better than...
I'm not anti-free market system.
No, I know. But my thing is that the re-regulation part of it is like we've talked about in the past, where we make it easier for smaller businesses to open up, to be able to create infrastructure, to be able to create more wealth, and to be able to redistribute the wealth of our society throughout more people, versus regulations that are overly restrictive to smaller ownership. You know what I mean? Which is my issue, because a lot of the things now are that the larger, as you've argued earlier in this conversation, that the larger corporations have bought out these systems in which now they lobby for what I guess I would call regulatory capture, in which basically they now can... They're the only ones who really are able to profit in any of these places.
That's not regulatory capture. They just have the capital funds to not give a shit.
No,
about
it's that
the rules.
It's that they don't care about the rules. But what it is that they're able to buy off the politicians in order to restrict these smaller corporations from being able to build. It's the same. That's why Texas, Austin specifically, has the best real estate prices technically in the state, or in the country basically at the moment. It's basically because they've deregulated a lot of the building infrastructure for neighborhoods and different things like that. I don't necessarily think that's the greatest option for most things, but I think it is a very good option for a lot of places. You know what I mean? And
How are they building in Austin? Are they building full? Are they doing mixed zoning, or are they just building a bunch of shit suburbs?
Again, you have a thing against suburbs. I like them. So
suburbs are objectively awful.
They're
objectively, mathematically awful.
All right, we're not going to do this again.
The suburbs, that is the most anti.
We're not doing this again.
You shouldn't be allowed to make music and like the suburbs.
But my point is that they still have the reason that it's good is because they're able to build with lesser regulations, and it's allowing smaller businesses to be able to build out larger. But my point is that the
reason why businesses don't start. They don't start because they don't have startup capital.
But in around here, we have a lot more smaller businesses that actually function as a bigger part of the community, versus in.
Yes, but is that because of the less regulations, or is that because of the business grants?
it might be because of business grants, but if the business grants are going to these monopolized monopolized corporations, then that is the problem, because that is when they force out these smaller. It's like that one fucking South Park episode where the fucking Walmart moves in, and then now you can't have the fucking corner store on the street.
No,
you know
South
what I'm saying?
Park. Boo. South Park doesn't know what they're talking about.
I'm just
For
saying.
the record to everybody, I fucking hate South Park because they do a bad job at.
I love South Park. You're tripping, but I'm saying again, this is that thing where
South Park is just the problem with South Park's politics.
Oh, we're
is
not
it's
getting
all
on the
just
South
like
Park goddamn
everyone's
thing.
Dumb.
We're not doing it.
It's just everyone's dumb and libertarianism. Actually, what are they? They're libertarians, aren't they?
Well, maybe that's why I fucking love that stuff.
I mean, libertarianism is fucking retarded anyway. So, God.
Josh, I don't know why you want to attack my soul so hard. I don't do this to you. I don't call you stupid.
That's because you can't. It's because you can't. I'm too strong.
No, I think I made a pretty good argument against a lot of stuff earlier, but you are being really aggressive to me right now. Okay, I thought we were cool.
I mean, look. Do you want me to be soft with you? You want me to treat you with kid gloves?
No, do not do that.
We're all adults here.
Hey, I played Yu-Gi-Oh. I played Yu-Gi-Oh with you. I know how this goes. Hey, wait, real quick.
The best moonsault.
Wait, what? Anyway. Well, okay. I gotta get off, man, because I gotta get my son and everything figured out. But I hope you guys like and subscribe. Josh, thank you for stopping in tonight. We'll do it again next week or whatever. Sorry, I just got a text and was like, yo, you gotta you gotta go put your son to sleep. So, okay. All right. Well, I love you guys. I'll be back on Sunday. I'm going to do a remix. Make sure to follow Josh on what, Josh, what do you want me to follow? What do you want to, do you want me to start putting your actual channel on here?
On Reddit. Excuse me. I'm scrolling Twitter right now.
Motherfucker, pay attention.
I don't have the chat open, especially that motherfucker Glockwork. Always being a hater, but never being able to actually explain his positions. Come with some fucking arguments one of these times.
Well, okay.
Instead
Listen.
of just being like, "You're DSA, man, boo, boo, man, they took our jobs."
But I'm trying to have the actual conversation, bro. You know I love you. Okay.
What is this?
I'm here for you.
Well, your follower is get control of your hose down there, of your hoe down there. Person, not the account owner, reading chat. Look at all this fucking free labor I'm doing. I get this motherfucker a sub, multiple tier 1 subs. God damn, fucking, do we have a hype train going too or some shit? Why is he
no,
train
to be fair,
or is that his thing?
Oh, see, now we're gonna get into communism again.
I'm the fucking rise and grinder over here. What is going on Twitter these days?
Josh, you are here because I love you, and the only reason I'm having you read some of these is because I just love your reactions more than I love anything else, dude. It's just my favorite
Josh
thing.
Is sad no one likes him. The fuck? Stop projecting. I told you to come with some fucking arguments, and this is what you have for me. Lock in. Lock the fuck in.
It's so funny because like you got this, dude. You actually have good arguments. I believe in you. I love you, man. You're the greatest. You know, I just
reverse.
Oh.
It's a bet. Don't stutter. Buddy, you can't even type properly. I don't know who you're talking to.
All right, Josh. Well,
I'm over here not even fully paying attention because I'm like scrolling Twitter for no reason.
Oh, I'm Well. All right. Well, it's all right. Let's.
13 years. Dog. This looks like fucking modded GTA 5.
We're not fucking.
It's kind of sad,
bro. Fucking. All right. Good night.
Like it looks all right, but like, dude, even the walk animation looks like GTA 5.
All right, guys, we're logging out. Have a good rest of your night. I hope you guys check me out on Sunday. We're gonna be doing a remix or something. Who knows? Making some music, doing a thing. Josh might be in the chat. Who fucking knows if he's gonna be here? But
I'm gonna be working. I won't be. I sadly cannot help you make elevator music.
Hey,
on
fucking.
Sunday.
We're gonna be out here fucking chilling, dude.
I'll be creating profit for a capital owner.
All right. Well, good for you. All right. Well.